waiting for this match, and here we go.
All right, people, what is up? Happy World Cup. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Scared, nervous, apprehensive, anxious. I don't know which one to tell you. Like I'm gonna have fun. We're gonna have a good time. We got some fun stuff planned out tonight. We're gonna talk about this game in real time. Just a couple of minutes away from kickoff. I've got my man Martino joining us a little bit later on. Very much looking forward to talking to him at half into the post game. I'll kind of walk through this game as we get started off. Lineups just went out a couple of minutes ago for the starting 11. Free's going to be in goal, obviously. Ream, Richards, Freeman, Robinson, and Tillman in the back. We'll have Adams, McKinney, Des, Balogun, and Pulisic up top. And I am like tight sphinctered as it gets, man. And for those of you hanging out, first time that I've broadcasted in a while. All right, so stick with me. I will acknowledge I just went with the classic Gingling tonight. All right, shout out to Pennsylvania. It's arguably my favorite, like, cheap. I'm gonna drink 9 of these American beers. Corner off the rip for Bosnia. Back line is terrifying, right? Like I think that's the one thing that everybody is on board with is just the back line is absolutely terrifying. If we lose this game, it will be because Bosnia is and I'm going to say Bosnia, not Bosnia and Herzegovina every single time. You'll get it. Stick with me. By the way, 47 seconds on the clock. If you're just tuning in and you want to watch this thing live with me, I've got the chat on through everything. First off, if you're watching, let me know that you can hear me okay. I'm trying up a new microphone setup today that I've never done before. I got myself one of the influencer mics, like one of the little ones with the Bluetooth, and I hooked it up my computer. I've never done that before. I have zero idea if it's working or not. So drop it in the chat. Let me know if you can. Let me know if you can hear me. Somebody just said, and I'm not going to say who. My mother told me just lose the sunglasses. Dude, we are red, white, and blue, top to bottom. All right, I am butthole puckered nervous about this game, but it doesn't mean I'm not coming with the drift. We broke out the old World Cup 22 scarf. All right, rocking the pageant stripe, my favorite U.S. jersey of all time. I'm top to bottom, left to right, up and down, red, white, and blue for this game. Leave me alone. I am too damn nervous to deal with commentary about my fashion choices. Okay, I just can't deal with it. All right, let's lock in on a little football here. 73 degrees, of course, the perfect weather for a hydration break in about 25 minutes, where we'll all go refill a beer, which is what I assume the point of a hydration break is. Midfield playing well so far. Couple of quick turnovers, couple of switches. Americans first on the offense here. Very much one of the things I really want to see happen today, and that's something I'm looking forward to. Serginho Dest just did what I want to see a hell of a lot of out of the Americans, which is pressure from the wings, pressure from the outside. Make sure their back line is having to stay compact and stay tight. I go back to that first game that we won against Paraguay, and 2 of the goals in that game came from attacking off the wing, making the back line play in deep, and then running one of our strikers or one of our attacking mids up towards the top of the 18-yard box. I think we need a lot of that. I think we need a lot of that. What's in the cup, Rob? Going with the Yingling tonight. Not gonna lie. Depending on how this first half goes, is very much going to determine if I switch to my second favorite American drink, which is just going to be straight shots of Jack Daniels to the face. I don't know if that's what it's going to take to get through this or not. We'll find out. Americans going with the 3-5-2 in this, which is, I think, largely unsurprising, right? Like, I love that we have made the switch. And I don't know if we give all the credit to Pochettino or not. I don't know if we give the credit to just the talent that we have and the guys that we have on board. But I'm glad to see that we are going back to the two strikers set up. There's a rip from Pulisic. I don't have a problem with that. Earn the corner kick. That's solid. I like having the 2 wingers set up predominantly because it allows us to go to the wing, right? You can rotate either one. You can rotate Balogun, Pulisic. You can pull up Dest, whoever you need to. But you can rotate these guys into the middle of the field a little bit more. And that has been where a bunch of our goals have come from so far. So I actually really like that. Love Pulisic taking his time on the wing too, right? Like if they are going to back in, I am fine with this being. I want to be aggressive. I want to be angry aggressive about this. But at the same time, what I don't want to do is go slam our head into a brick wall because Bosnia parks 7 they want to counter, right? Like we've seen that out of this team so far. Bosnia wants to counter, and what I don't want to do is get into the spot where we get caught up and allow them to, because they park the bus and then just a stupid turnover, and all of a sudden you're playing and you're chasing the game back the other way. So as much as we've kind of gotten comfortable with and have started to enjoy just the relentless pressure in the middle, I also want to make sure that if we're going to do that, you're taking your time and you're making sure you have the look that you want to go full afterburner on it. If we get to the point where we're just going full afterburner into a brick wall over and over, we're going to get beat on the counter. And that's where I get terrified. By the way, I was talking with a buddy of mine earlier. Did anybody else but me feel like minus 800 is kind of a stupid ass number for us to be favored by? Like look, I'm all in. Clearly I'm here for it. But man, I looked up I was like minus 800. That's a weird number. I didn't see that coming through that way, but hey, what do I know? I'm just some jackass on his couch with a beer. Oof, that's a good looking corner. This World Cup has driven me crazy. And I don't know if anybody else has felt this way. This World Cup has it's driven me absolutely crazy because, and I'm going to be accused of this being a noob take, an amateur take, a hot take. I don't know. I genuinely can't understand how there are so many top-notch international footballers that for whatever reason are just like absolutely incapable of putting a corner kick into the strike zone. Like, how many have I seen that have just flown back post and there's nobody there, that have flown out to the top of the box and I genuinely don't understand it. 6:05 on the clock, by the way, if you are keeping up, welcome in GameDay Garage. I am Rob Brown. You're going to see a lot more of me moving forward because now I have a real job, but I also have a regular schedule, which means I can do talking into a microphone about sports stuff. Thanks for being here. I don't know how many of you are here, but I'm glad those of you that are here. Hang out, stick around. We're going to have some fun. We are on, what are we on? We're on YouTube and Twitch right now, I believe. And if you're watching, I don't know, share it with your friends. Can I tell you what really happened here today? I'm a big believer in going behind the scenes, like pulling back the curtain a little bit. I plan on having a bunch of guests. I plan on having a bunch of people sit in and hang out with me tonight and watch some footy. And then they all said they got invited to watch parties, and so they weren't going to make it. So here I am solo. You're welcome, or I'm sorry, whichever the case is more appropriate to you. Marissa. By the way, can somebody explain? Number one, yes, Pochettino does look like Fat Russell Crowe. And as somebody who doesn't look like Fat Russell Crowe, I just look like regular fat guy. Somebody's going to have to explain the one button on the dress shirt thing, right? Like, good dress shirt open with a t-shirt under. Come on, big fan, love that. Pull that look off all the time. Flannel dress shirt doesn't matter. What? Button with a t-shirt under it. Great with that. Buttoned up dress shirt. Why the one button? Where'd that? Is that like I don't know. Maybe it's a Latin American thing, and I'm not cool enough to pull off a unique look, right? Like, I just have to do what every other basic Caucasian American has to do. I just don't know where it came from, man. That makes sense to me. 8 minutes played. Most of the possession has been with the U.S. so far, which I'm happy to see because, again, it tells me we're not just throwing shit in to see what happens, right? Like, this isn't just throw it in the box and let's pray we're better athletes. That's what was so frustrating, bothersome, aggravating, whatever you want to say, really about, I would say about Berhalter and Klinsmann both with his team, was we spent years attacking from the standpoint of, we're going to kick the ball down the field and we're going to chase it. And we're just going to outrun you. We're just going to be better athletes. And that can work. Problem is, when you start playing more disciplined teams, it stops working. And certainly when you play teams that have just like exponential levels of talent above you, that's where you end up in a bad spot too. And I think we got caught up in a lot of that for a very long time. All right, so it's not a panic. We're 9 minutes in. Now it kind of feels like, even though the possession is still very much in play for us, Now it feels like there's a little bit of panic. All right. Good idea, good run. The run's there. I like that play. The last 2 times down towards the box, it has gotten to the point where it feels like maybe there's a little bit of panic there. That was a good play. I think that Balogun caught himself offsides, got back on, but by the time he established the run to go beat the secondary pass deep into the box, defense already had a spot. Here comes Bosnia back the other way, shot on, freeze, blocked, and sent back out. Tim Ream, dude, I have so much respect for Tim Ream, so much respect for what he's done, so much respect for his career as a national representative for us. But anybody but me kind of get the vibe that like Tim Ream might be a weak link on this back line tonight. Like it kind of feels like he might be a link that I'm worried about. Shelly said Berhalter was in. Hey, do you guys remember that time that we fired Berhalter? And then we hired somebody, and then we fired him, and then we hired Berhalter. I was thinking, I don't want. You're right. I don't want to talk about it. All right, we're here for good vibes only. All right, freedom, liberty, independence, all that great stuff. Good vibes only for Team USA. Second corner kick for Bosnia here. Man, they are sending everybody into the short box. This is incredible. They're just packing it in. Here's where I get concerned. A lot of space for the 2 guys up front. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 in the box. So there's 2 playing up high, and it makes me afraid they're going to go up there. Attaboy, freeze. 2 saves early for freeze. Love to see that. Joey P said we look like ass. I don't know, man. Like first 6 minutes, 7 minutes of the game, all the possession. Well, here's my fear, Joe. And I talked a little bit about this early. My fear about this is that we have a lot of possession. We get comfortable. We're connecting on a high percentage of passes around their box. We're attacking from the wings. We've got our strikers in the middle. We're getting these opportunities, and we fall asleep back the other direction. Like we already know where the weakness in this team is, right? We know the weakness in this team is the defensive back line. We know the weakness of this team is in goalkeeping. With all due respect to Freeze, 2 saves so far, playing well, but we know the weakness is, which is in the back. And if they get complacent, they get lulled to sleep, Bosnia gets a pick and comes with a full blitz back the other way, which is exactly what they're going to want to do. I don't know what that does. I don't know what that does. So that is, I am apprehensive about that. I am nervous about that. So we'll see where that goes. The good news is, and I'll say this for what it's worth, the good news is we haven't panicked yet on the defensive side. Like there hasn't been any panic yet. Freeze read that, came in, stopped the Olympico, which I mean, good. But the back line hasn't panicked yet. The last Turkey especially, you felt that it got to a point where they were putting so many passes together, so many runs together, that the back line got overwhelmed. I do think our back line can get overwhelmed. I think it can get pressured. I think it can get apprehensive. I think it can get nervous. And I think it can get out of sorts, especially when we're only playing 3 back. Like, that's where I get apprehensive. But we'll see. Our problem is every team we've played so far is trying to come out and play us. Bosnia is happy to sit back and absorb pressure. Not sure we know what to do with that. Again, like, this is the weird spot because I actually was really happy with the first 6 or 7 minutes of the game. Now, it's been 6 or 7 minutes since we've had that sustained pressure up front. And I think playing through, like, we're not playing well through the midfield right now, which I think is the biggest hang up I have. But those first 6 or 7 minutes, and I don't know if you agree, Joey B, I don't know if anybody else agrees, those first few minutes, the thought from me was, let's stay wide, right? Like, we know this team wants to park. We know this team wants to throw 5, maybe 6 defenders in the box. They want to play back, and they want to play for a counter. But we also know that by playing 2 strikers up front instead of 1, as we've done historically, and being able to rotate the ball back and forth and always having a striker up top, we can force their back line back a little bit. And if we get comfortable with that and play wide until their back line compacts all the way into the box, then we start creating at the semicircle. And I think that's where we can have a spot. You're right. Like, Paraguay attacked us, right? Turkey attacked us. Australia, for whatever reason, who thinks this is a rivalry when it's not, they attacked us. Bosnia is not going to attack until they have possession of the ball and they can get a full numbers counter. And while you have to be aware and apprehensive of that, the same thing for me is, if you are going to sit all the way back in the box and wait to spring a counter when you have full possession, then I'm happy to let's just play it out wide. right? Aggressive but patient is a strategy. And it's one I think we need to work on utilizing a little bit more. Patient but aggressive. I think we tend to get out over our skis a little bit playing aggressive. That right there is what I want. By the way, 14:29 on the clock if you're trying to keep up. I like this. You see it wide, you play it wide. That's onside, clearly. And then what do you see? The back line rotates. There's Balogun sitting right there in the middle. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Balogun sitting 14 yards away from the goal. Nobody's there. Better touch there. Probably getting saved. But it shows you that the principle is alive. The thought of what you can do there is alive. I'm more concerned when Bosnia gets a chance to have a free possession on our third, right? Like if it's a free kick and they can dive bomb it down there, if it's a throw in from somewhere around midfield and they can dive in, that's where I get a little bit concerned about this. I will say this, and I don't know if it's the beer or the I may or may not have done a shot of tequila before I sat down to do this. I don't know if it's the booze or just the fact that we're playing footy now. I was coal into diamond puckered up when this game started. I'm actually a little more, is anybody else a little more, I'm a little more comfortable now, which is weird. I shouldn't be. I should be freaking out. %65 possession through the Americans for the first 15 and a half minutes. I'll take it, right? Like we kind of know that's what the flow of the game is going to be. We kind of know they're going to sit back. We kind of know they're going to let us, especially around the midfield, just kind of have our way moved around. Of that 65%, possession, I would argue most of it has been down inside of the attacking third, which, yes, please. It's all, I mean, really, that's all I can ask for. If you have the ball 65, 69 nice percent of the time down inside of the attacking third, you've got opportunities to do something. And don't be like, this is my other thought. 1649. For those of you that are watching maybe a few seconds off. I don't mind a total field reset. I really don't. Like, ordinarily, I would start getting agitated when we're not playing exceptionally well in the midfield and we start laying it back and playing it back. I don't have a problem with it right now. I really don't. Really, really good effort there. But again, look, like, here goes the run down the right-hand side. Onside play. You get it wide to the wing. Watch their four on the back line collapse. And bang, all the space in the world in the middle. Now, that probably should have been a better cross in, right? Puts it a little close to the keeper. Needs to drop that back a little bit closer to the PK spot and give Jedi a chance there. But that is exactly, like, that is the setup. That is the play. Send it out to the wing, especially if you can get it on a run, right? I like, we keep talking about their ability to counter and go on the run. And I know I said a little bit earlier, I don't want to get into a spot where it feels like we're going back to the old he who shan't be named style of spray and pray, right? Like, if you get it at the mid, kick the shit out of it, and then we're just going to outrun and be faster than them down to the other end of the field, and we're going to outrun. I don't want that. That's what I'm asking for. What I'm asking for is smart runs, strategic runs, tactical runs. And I do think that's what we're seeing right now. That is really two, I would argue you could say maybe three times where we've played it around the mid. We've seen the trap where it's set. We've sent a man down the right wing, and it has resulted in what I want to see, which is, again, their back line dropping in, 1 to 2 attackers going right into the middle to the spot. Now we've just got to connect on that. Like, we're I don't know, we're 80%, 85%, 90%. Now, in fairness, the team that wins the soccer game is the team that gets to 85, 90% of the way there and then finishes that last 10%. And right now we're not doing that, but we're 18:53 into the contest. Plenty of time. We get one goal and force Bosnia out of the show. But yeah, no, I like, That I kind of talked a little bit about that as we were getting to the first to the first kick. I can do this. I promise you. I'm a 3-time South Carolina State broadcaster of the year. I promise you I can do this. I just haven't in a long time. All right. Let me live a little bit. The thought I had was the same thing. This game stays close until it's not. The old college football thought, right? Like it's close until it wasn't. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Is we know it's going to be close. So don't tighten up until it's not close. But if you get one, Bosnia is not a team built to chase the game. We actually, I would argue, to some degree are built to chase the game because we can get panicky and we can get over it. We're not aggressive right. Well, we're not over aggressive right now. We're playing a comfortable level of comfortable aggression. I'm good. There's ruthless aggression and then there's comfortable aggression. I'm a fan of comfortable aggression. We're showing comfortable aggression. Bosnia can't really show any aggression at all unless it's on the counter, but that's not going to be there unless they get aggressive. So don't give them the opportunity to counter. Keep doing what you're doing. Attack the wing, play to the middle, put one on the board, make them come out of the shell. And once they come out of the bunker, now all of a sudden that athletic difference in these two teams really does change. Now the athletic difference in these two teams starts to show up on the board a little bit. Also, shout out to the World Cup because I will say this. We've had a lot of complaints about FIFA. We've had a lot of complaints about officiating. I actually think for the most part, with a couple of glaring exceptions, this tournament's been pretty well officiated, I thought, right? You don't feel that way if you're like one or two teams who have gotten the screw. Okay. It's a good kick. It's a good corner. Put it in the box. Give him a chance. I will take drop the corner in front of the keeper and try to play the mistake before I take just throw it 20 yards away and see what happens. That's when I get really frustrated. I will say this, as you saw that little misplay of the ball, I think it was Richards that just misplayed the ball there, and Bosnia almost had a run off of it. Really, to me, if we find ourselves in a deficit here, if we find ourselves where we're having to play from behind and it allows Bosnia to anchor in even more, it'll be because of a dumb mistake. It'll be because of a misread. It'll be because of a misjump. It'll be because of a misfire. It'll be because of a dumb turnover. But I don't think Bosnia, because they are, again, not aggressive defensively. They're consistent, they're disciplined, but they're not aggressive. I do think there is some level of Bosnia wants to take advantage of a mistake and probably will take advantage of a mistake. They're not going to apply so much pressure that they create mistakes. That's how I'm seeing it. I'm not seeing so much pressure that they're going to make a mistake. That's where I'm at. I am going to go with, I have landed on, I despise hydration breaks, but they are an absolutely wonderful opportunity to refill a beer. All right, what have we seen so far? I see a few guys, my boys there in the chat. Anybody else new jumping in? Holler at me. Shelly said corners need to be setups rather than into the 6. We don't have the size to win those unless we are truly inside of the marker. Yeah, I think we've got a couple of guys with the athleticism to get up and go compete until you start bumping up into teams that have monsters in the back. Like there's two kinds of Bosnian defenders, right? There's like the classic Eastern European mobsters. And then there's a couple of Bosnian defenders that look like they belong in a boy band and not really an in-between. So I'm with you unless you get the perfect run, unless you set up the perfect run for a Balogun who does have the athleticism to jump up out of the gym. We don't Pulisic's not that guy. We know that. Pulisic's not going up and elevating over that. I really don't think there's many more. It may just very well be Balogun. The only other guys that could make, Reem is tall enough, he could get up there and do it, but obviously playing the back, I'm not bringing him all the way up for a maybe iffy corner unless you're in the dying moments and you just have to have one, which we're not going to worry about right now. All right, give me 30 seconds, guys. Don't go anywhere. I made a thing. Look at it. Be right back.
As you can see, Santa Clara named the Bosnia and Herzegovina goalkeeper this entire hydraulic footprint with an ice pack to his temple, taking the knee from Anthony Robinson a few minutes ago. Pochettino now looking up, having addressed his team. Sergei Barbares on the other side knows the significance of this opportunity. As we said, this is very different. The first 3 games for the U.S. They got out.
Okay, I just wanted to see if that worked. It did. It did. All right, what are our thoughts? Where are we at? What are our thoughts so far? I'm not unhappy. I will say owning over half the possession so far, perfect. Scratch that. Half the possession, 23% of the possession has been contested. I'd really like to see that contested number come down. And that's that playing wing to wing. That's that playing around the top. That's playing outside the 18. If we stay playing outside the 18, I think we're in a decent spot. That's what I'm hoping for. So we'll see. Misplayed, misjudged. That's what I'm talking. Like those types of situations. Misplaying the bounce, misjudging the trajectory, giving them an easy possession, easy movement up, overrunning. Like I don't love having the turbo button pushed all the way through the remote when it's like it's making it the keeper. I know you want to put him under pressure, but that's a great like you're burning it up for what reason? That's my concern. Also, and this is okay. Let me preface with I've owned pink boots. All right. I've owned pink soccer cleats before. No issue with it. Like, how did they become the official boot color, cleat color of the world? Like, everybody in the hot pink cleats. I like them. I've got a pair. Well, I don't have a pair anymore. I'm fat and I don't play football anymore. I just watch it on TV. I do play football on Xbox, but that's about it. Which, by the way, your boy downloaded FC26 last night. So if anybody wants to put a franchise together, holler at me. At Radio Guy Rob on Xbox for the 3 of you who want to play. You know how to find me. So stupid turnover. We got it right back, but stupid turnover there. Like this is, we've got the ball at midfield. Their defense is 18, 24 yards regressed into the defending third. They're not attacking you. They're not coming out of the shell. They're walking up to you. If it gets to a point where they get within 6-12, look down the field, see if you've got to run to the corner. If you don't, bring it back out, reverse the field. Like they're opening up space. There you go. I like that. Misjudged from Robinson. Those little mistakes. Yeah, no, I know. It is about time I got it. I don't know what you want me to tell you. It's on Game Pass, so I picked it up. I got it on Game Pass. It's free. Let's have it. I didn't get a beer hydration break, by the way. That's an absolute misfire for me. I'd sit here all day and talk about what I want to see more and less of out of the squad. Not getting a beer at the hydration break was an absolute flop. I apologize. I'm better than that. So we'll just sit that there and stare at it in shame for the remainder of this half. Credit to Bosnia. Like, when they have possession, it is deliberate. This is a good ball. This is a good ball down the wing. Oh, yeah, no, that's a dive. I can't give him that one either. I'd have loved that to have been ours, but that's a dive. Nah, that's a dive. Yeah. I mean, that's tough. That's tough. That's one that, man, super subjective. I don't know. You can. Do we see VAR overturn a ref? I don't think so. And I don't think we've seen that yet, have we? Like, I don't think we've seen VAR overturn an on-field decision yet in this tournament. I could be wrong. I've missed like 3 games, but I don't think so. That's one of those spots that, like, I think the stereotypical American soccer fan that we all make fun of is justified in complaining about that, right? Like, I get it. Sometimes you're going to get a call off that. You've got contact to the shin, but that's one of those spots where it's like, play through it and hope you get something out of it. That's rough. But we'll see. Ball don't lie. It's coming back to us if not. That's right. Good call. Forgot about that one. But still, like, that's a hell of a lot difference between overturning a yellow card and what would have amounted to a PK, right? And legitimately a game-changing moment there. But we'll see. What did we say? What did we say, boys? 1-0. What did we say? Get it to the wing? No, or they had the flag up. The flag is up. The flag is up, fellas. Yeah, he's off. Yep, sure is. That's a great call. That's a great call. That's rough. That's rough. Jesse Pinkman, welcome in. I'm glad to hear that YouTube is working. My name is Rob Brown, here from GameDay Garage. I'm just a fat former athlete, not professional in any way, shape, or form. Like, fat college intramural athlete who likes to drink beer, watch footy, and talk about it. So glad to have you. Welcome in. Yeah, that's an offside. I get it. That's rough. Wanted that one. But the thought for me is going to be, even if that's not in, we know this first American goal, if and when it happens, changes not just the game from the momentum site. It changes the game from the way that Bosnia can play, because they can't pack this in anymore. Now they have to start being a little bit more aggressive, which is where I think the American offense shines. That's huge. So even though you don't have the goal on the board, and even though it still allows Bosnia to stay packed and looking for the counter back the other direction, what I genuinely am looking for here is, does that get into Bosnia's head? Or do they start being afraid of making that mistake, getting beat down the wing and seeing the middle of the field open up, which has happened a few times here. Now, you can't do that. You can't turn around and give them dumb turnovers like that. That's a rough turn, but the question mark is, can you take advantage of that moment? Can you now have the Bosnians? First off, will the Bosnians, right? Like, this is a mental toughness spot as well, 100%. The next question immediately becomes, is there a world where it doesn't bother the Bosnians anymore? Is there a world where they're not thinking about it? Hey, whatever had happened, get over it. Or are they now thinking about that? Is it now okay, now we know that their offense is going to work. Now we know it's going to be there. So I don't know. We'll see. This, however, right here is what I don't like. I said this earlier. This is where I'm uncomfortable. When the Bosnians have an opportunity to put the ball way deep into the American third, off of a free kick, off of a corner, or excuse me, off of a side in, whatever, when they have that type of opportunity, that's where I get apprehensive, because at that point, it is just a straight challenge to the back line. Like, if our midfield plays well with 5 men in it, if the midfield plays well, then I think the back line never really feels the pressure. If you're playing well, because I can take and I can drop from both sides there. If they're allowed to just missile it over the center fielders and get it directly to challenge the back, that's where I get a little bit apprehensive. But fair play from the U.S. on defense there. See, and there's gathering at the midfield has been a problem in this game so far. Like outside of the set piece outside of the long free kick, they have not really been able to get into the attacking third. But when we have dispossessed them in that spot, it's what's the old expression? It's two monkeys doing something explicit over a football. That's what my high school coach used to say. I hate it. Freeze is playing well. Seen pressure a couple of times. The concern I have, and we saw him do this back in, I think it was the Paraguay game, like he will come all the way out to the edge of the 18. And when he comes that far out, it's like, man, one misdirect, one mishit, one flick of the ball in an unexpected way, and we find ourselves with our asses on the line. But at the same time, Bosnia hasn't. I mean, outside of that corner earlier, which he had to drop way back into the net to prevent the Olympico. Outside of that, they haven't really gotten too much on frame that he's had to be overly concerned. So, if they start to find some heat seekers that get a little bit closer, now we change it. Here we go. Attack the wing. Turn it back around. Now what's in the middle? Nothing there. Reset it. That's not ideal. That's a spot where if you have a backside player in blue who recognizes there's a panic moment there and they chase that down, that could have been trouble. But got away with one, so fix it. McKinney to the back post. Yep, too much. That's all right. Robinson's over there. I like that. Okay. Like it's one of these spots where the idea is there, right? You can see what we're aiming for. The concept is there. The execution is even there. Now it's just, are we going to be able to find a finish? We have not done it yet, and that's the nerve-wracking part of this. Yeah, you're not going to get that call. If that ball is closer on target, we've got a chance of getting a penalty there, but that's rough. That's a rough spot. Martino Puccio going to join us later on. If you're a GameDay Garage guy, you've seen him on the net a couple of times talking footy. One of the best soccer dudes I've ever had the chance to talk with. So Martino's going to join us at halftime. When we get to the end of this half, we'll take a very quick break. I'll get Martino loaded into the box. We'll come back with him. Oh, here's a through ball. Yeah, Pulisic misread that one. Pulisic tried to cut to the backside, but Balogun had no angle to get it there to him. Pulisic should have come back on the near side and at least levied a screen. He wouldn't have much of an angle to shoot with. Like that's kind of one of those spots where damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like the correct angle for Pulisic was to run to the back post, but the problem is ball was played so far forward that Balogun didn't really have an opportunity to get the ball to the back. But had Pulisic come to the inside, he would have basically taken away any angle that Balogun had really for anything there. So just bad luck. Got real lucky right there too. Like that's the concern so far has not really even been Bosnia organizing a solid counter in reaction to any attack that we've thrown out. Like the only time it's been dangerous is when we have made a mistake in the back and we have set them up on a run. Played to the wing, into the 18, send it back out. Again, it's there. It's there. 2-3 passes on the wing. Inside to Pulisic. Pulisic has a great run to the inside. Unfortunately, nobody went to the back post, but that's as good as it looks. Appreciate it, Kane. Shout out. Good to see you, brother. Miss you, bud guy. Yeah, so this is, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. This is This is the casual side of the bro cave. If you've watched me before, back when I was doing local radio or back when I was on the national network, my closet with all my jerseys in it's over there, and all my sports memorabilia is over there. But I am fat and lazy and wanted to sit on my couch for this game because I knew good and damn well if I was sitting in an office chair, no. That's such a filthy little back heel from Tillman too. But again, just needs somebody to run that back post. Just somebody run that back post. I don't know that they could have gotten to it, but you gave yourself a chance, which is all I can ask for in that spot. Also, I am being told that my feed's just a few seconds behind where a lot of you guys are. Keep in mind, not only is everybody streaming, so they're all a little buffered differently, but on top of that, because I'm streaming and broadcasting and sending this to the internet, I might be off. I will update you. I am at 40 minutes and 36 seconds right now. So if you're a bit ahead and you want to push pause and let me catch up, have at. If you're a bit behind, sucks to be you. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. Oof. Free kick from Balogun. Took one of the. I think that might have been a little. I hate to say dive because I don't know how many times I have seen a guy that I'm like, oh, what a dive, and then you get the slow-mo high def look, and you're like, oh no, I'm kind of an asshole. He really did get popped, but it's all right, whatever. I'll take it. I mean, part of the game is gamesmanship. Let's rock and roll. Let's see what happens. Good spot for a free kick though. Like I really like this angle of attack for the Americans. Again, it's like we talked about earlier. You don't really have outstanding height. But what you do have is a lot of speed. What you do have is the opportunity to send 3-4 guys in 3 separate angles, exotic angles, to give yourself a real look here. I like this set, though. I like the opportunity here. So Americans have 3 on the back side of the wall, 1 up near. Tough look. Tough look. Good look, tough look. All right, 42 minutes, 11 seconds showing on the clock here for me. So Bosnia from the back third right now, I think are really just kind of getting into the spot of let's try to drop the ball in between the midfielders and the back line. And then let's just try to out talent the back line here. Where so far, for the most part, has not worked to their credit. Shout out to Balogun and Dest, man, because like every time Bosnia lays it all the way back to the keeper, these dudes are just hammering the right trigger and turboing to get back there, try to hustle it up a little bit, which I respect. I mean, you never know. Not natural ball handlers out of the GK spot, so maybe you make a mistake there. I like it. The mids and D-backs right now for the Americans are rotating off, right? Like there's a lot of rotation, not a lot of leaving guys to drop back. They're switching on off, which is fine until you start getting caught, until you start having them maintain possession and catching guys out of position, which I'm a little bit apprehensive about. So we'll see where we're at. Sounds like stadium's hype right now too. Like I know they got the whole back wall sitting down, but good solid environment. I really do like I'm a big believer that we need to do soccer our way, right? Like they're not boots, they're cleats. It's not a shirt, it's a jersey. It's not a kit, it's a uniform. Like it's okay to allow Americans to use our words to describe things the way that we describe our things. That one's got to count, right? That one's got to count. Balogun back on the board. All right, beautiful. Wrapping up the first half of the goal. Look, man, sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes the ball just goes your way. That's what I mean. Good play through the mid to open up the field. Good play through the mid to get Bosnia on the back foot. But at the end of the day, what just got sent in there was just a wing and a prayer. And Balogun was able to. And again, really skilled play there to be able to gather that ball and set up a shot and control. Right? Played into the mid. Balogun's in the middle of 3. Mishit by the left back for Bosnia. Sent in, okay, deflected into and mishit by the left back. But Balogun recognizes it, slows up, able to get the right foot behind him, so he's able to put it in with the left. That's excellent, man. That's excellent. I like that. And see, this is what I like about that phrase, pressure bakes pipes. I really like that. And what I like about that, Joey B, is because there is a massive difference between throw a bunch of shit back there and just try to out-athlete them versus stay patient and keep high pressure, right? That's what I said back at the beginning of the stream. Stay patient and keep good pressure. Stay patient and own the ball, own possession, and make the pressure build, not just throw it back there and let's see if we can out-athlete them. We can't. Like, yeah, there's a world where one day this nation of 330 million people just puts 11 extreme elite athletes out there, and I look forward to that day. But that's not it right now. But the fact that in this spot right now, the fact that we were able to just keep the ball on their third, keep moving, keep making their shape flow left to right, eventually you got guys out of sorts. You got into dudes' heads where they were thinking more about position than they were about playing the ball. You get a friendly deflection followed by a friendly deflection, followed by Balogun, excellent athleticism to put the foot down, realize where it is, and get to it. Also, ref cam kicks enormous amounts of ass. Like, they ever figure out how to stabilize it a little bit, it's going to be great, but ref cam rocks. Even the goal itself, like, it got deflected. That might have gone wide. I don't know if it was the foot of the right back or if it was the foot of the keeper, but one of their feet got onto it and deflected it back to the net. Like, man, sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good. I'm not saying that was lucky. It was. But the luck doesn't equate to success if you're not prepared to take advantage of it. I'll take advantage of it. I like that. All right, got a couple of guys down here, so we'll take just a second. You guys think we see Pulisic play on 90? I'm really hoping we're only playing 90 here. We'll find out. But Pulisic swore he was good to go for 90 or 120, which good. Because I'll be honest, like, even the last couple of plays, if you're keeping an eye on this, like, this defense, Bosnia's defense is absolutely shading towards Christian Pulisic. It has opened up some space. So we're in a good spot. Five minutes of stoppage. We burned up probably 2 on this injury, so I'd expect we're going to go a little bit longer than that 5 minutes, but we'll find out. Yeah, I mean, hey, it kind of is, for those of you who are here, kind of is a throwback to the old Rob Brown show. R.I.P. We had a good run, boys. We had a good run. Are they going to make Adams walk off? I mean, I know that, like, head injuries got to take a break, but if they have, I don't know. So okay, and we talked about this earlier. This is where I get nervous. This is the spot I get apprehensive because when they get this free kick from this spot or they've got a little room to play, they can attack. Now they didn't, which is kind of, to be honest with you, a little surprising to me. That's a spot where if I'm Bosnia, I'm going right at the back line. Like I'm sending 4, I'm getting it back. I will put my best up front against your not best in the back. Like that's a spot I immediately attack the back line, and they did not do that, which is a little bit surprising. All right, Adam's back on the pitch. It seems hustling, man. Bosnia's hustling. But I like that. Honestly, it's like right now, I've got a ton of appreciation for what the midfielders are doing because they're there, right? Like there's been 3 or 4 spots where you've seen one drop from the mid and see everybody shift over a little bit, right? Like I'm seeing guys drop and rotate in, but they're not getting so out of position that they can't move over. I like it. I like what the midfield is doing to kind of supplement that back line. Which again, in a 3-5, you're at 3-5 in the back. You're expecting that. But anytime that you're dropping guys from mid into a defensive position, you get concerned that you might end up in a spot where one missed rotation creates, as I've talked about on our end, one missed rotation creates some vacuum in the middle where there's room to play. You pass it back, now you've got space up front. But as midfielders are dropping, that line is tightening up until it's time to flip it back over. I'm actually really, really happy with what the midfield is doing right now. By the way, I'm being told that we've got a pretty good group of people watching over on Twitter right now. If you want to toss me a follow at The Rob Brown Show. More importantly, if you want to jump in on the chat with us, go to YouTube, search GameDay Garage, join the live on the YouTube, and you'll have access to our chat that you can pop in some thoughts there as well. Ooh, that's a great look. That's a great look. Great look on that free kick. Look at Pulisic. Everything again. Really good move. Like the execution, solid possession. We know we're coming out. Like I have to assume that this attack is going to be the last one of stoppage time. So if I'm the Americans now, I think at this point it's like, hey, just dump it in there. Let's see what happens. It's all right. Still have it. Oh, that can't get closer without going in, man. That can't get closer without going in. That's rough. He wants that one back. That's on. That's great. That's a great header down into the ground. Ballo, if he's 3 inches closer to the goal, that's it. That's excellent work. That's good work. Yeah, Pochettino's got it right. All you can do is raise the hands. Hell of an effort. Backspin on it. Oh, man. If he's 3 inches closer, that's hitting the bottom of that bar and going in. But, again, on one hand, they find a goal at some point. You look back at that, and you're like, oh, what could have been, right? On the flip side, every time that you get that, every time that you get that close, every time you hit the side, every time you hit the crossbar, every time you have an attack where everything went right, you just didn't put the ball in the net. When you have that type of pressure and you keep it up consistently, all you're doing is demanding that Bosnia drop further back into the box, that they kind of hunker down, try to park that bus a little bit further and closer to the goal. And if that's where you're going to be, and if that's the spot you find yourself in, that's only good for us, right? Harder if they've got 5, 6, 7 back in the box because we're creating, and even if we're not finishing, creating, it negates the numbers that they can throw back on the counter. Now, all of a sudden, instead of having 4 midfielders hanging back, you can have 3 and add 1 more to the attack and still be a little less concerned about the counter. So I think we're in a good spot here. I yes, would love for Ballo to have put that one up into the top. Tough angle, tough spot. Not really anything he can do differently with the goalkeeper in his face right there. But kind of is what it is in that spot. I did not see the injury there. It looked like there was a knee to the face, maybe. All right, so we're coming up on. Oh, that's dumb. Those are the mistakes you can't make right there. Right, just like goofing it up on the sideline. All right, that's the half. Cool. 55 minutes in, 1-0 to the U.S. Really, honestly, could be 2. Theoretically, could be 3. Here is what we are going to do, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to step away for a very quick, my own personal hydration break. All right. I emptied the England. I'm going to go refill the glass. When we come back, my man Martino is in the house. We'll get his thoughts on the first half. We'll see what he's expecting to see in the second half. We'll get you all set up for the second 45. Don't go anywhere. Martino and I will be back in just a minute. Hang out. BRB.
It could only be described as evil. That isn't evil. It's just typical company stuff. Besides, people just switched to Verizon with their new simplicity plan.
Yeah, you got 45 minutes.
And it's only $30 for a single line. So you're only choosing Verizon. Introducing the simplicity plan. $30 for a single line. Great American. Stage. Liberty is baby. The problem because in this country, you need choice.
You can come in.
Where cream Nutella meets roasted peanuts to form your pumpkin snack time. Nutella peanut, your pumpkin snack time. Adams, Centrum, ready for anything. Finds Advil, that's strong support. And Tom's looking to counter-attack. Every goal starts with an assist.
So what's it like being a Dr. Big Part winner?
This sounds ridiculous. Before she return this fall, watch season 1 anytime.
You're starting to like me here.
Release me, please. Returns this fall on Fox or anytime on Hulu. July 4th, it's a special baseball where as the Cardinals take on the Cubs. Baseball night begins with the All-Star Selection Show at 7:30 on Fox.
2026 Halftime Show on Fox is presented by Bank of America. Here in Kansas City to celebrate that reaction. After Club Balogun fouled in the 45th minute. US up 1-0 in Bosnia and Herzegovina here at this round of 32 showdown from
All right, we are back. It is halftime. Americans up 1-0, courtesy of a goal from Flo Balogun. My man, Martino Puccio in the house. What's up, big dog? How are you, brother?
Rob, how you doing? Love the spirit tonight. Outfit looking great, scarf looking great, and so does Team USA. I mean, totally dominant first half. Very happy with that. Limited Bosnia pretty much the entire time. Didn't really see anything of threat. You know, corner here, corner there. But 1-0 could have been, like you were saying right before you went to break, 2-3-0. Just marginal differences as well. But they've kept up that pressure and energy that entire half.
No, completely agree. So I came into this, and I just want to get your thoughts. And we'll work back to front for this U.S. team. The big concern, and I don't think that I'm breaking any ground or going out on a thin branch here, but I thought the concern was keeping and the back line, right? Like Tim Ream, we've talked a lot about him
Mhm.
and the appreciation we have for the career he's had, but lost a step. Was very concerned that if Bosnia ever fully mounted a real counterattack off of a mistake at midfield, that's where we find ourselves in trouble. You mentioned the one or two times they've created a corner. We did have Freeze have to go up to save a potential Olympico earlier in the first half. I'm not disappointed with what the back line's doing today.
No, they're limiting everything, and I think that's just because the press is so well that they're not really allowing Bosnia to get out in front when they turn the ball over. Mihajlovic, or probably botched the name. Either way, he plays in Italy for Sassuolo. He's having a stinker. He's having a terrible game. He was culpable for that goal. You see him scream into the ball right before he fouled Balogun right prior to that, and you could just see that frustration on their faces too, because they're also a side that does create chances, but rarely scores, which was really how they grinded out these results to even get to this tournament in the first place. But you said it, limiting the counterattack is everything. If they do that, Bosnia have actually no chance. And the deeper this game goes into, and Team USA absolutely needs a second goal because you cannot allow this to be 1-0. You play it into Bosnia's hand. As long as they keep up that pressure and create plenty of chances for Balogun, I expect him to get a second or a third in this one. And Pulisic looks plenty healthy, which is a huge, huge plus so far.
Yeah, it's kind of a spot where I think there's going to be a bunch of people who think like, okay, now Bosnia has to come out of the. And I'm one of them, just to be clear. All right, you're by going up a goal, and especially once we start seeing 60 minutes, 70 minutes, 80 minutes played, at some point Bosnia has got to kind of start to break up that back line and start to move towards the midfield. The concern I have is we have seen not many, but a few mistakes in the midfield that have opened us up on the backside. 1-0 is not enough because it's just one mistake, and all of a sudden you're in a game where you're right back to square one. To me, it's exactly the opposite, Martino. Like, I want to see the Americans come out, and I want the accelerator pressed to the floor even further for the first 15, 20 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, you have to do that. You can't abandon the way you've been playing this entire tournament, and it's been working for you. I know in certain moments, maybe just be extra careful. I think you're going to be seeing substitutes of Tillman probably coming off. We know that Pochettino loves Sebastian Berhalter. So maybe you see him feature an Aronson off the bench for Dest. But you're going to continue to see this high pressing team because they have the depth for it. This is exactly how they've been thriving. And this has happened in the two friendlies prior to the tournament starting. They were playing well against Senegal and Germany, and they carried this over. And even in the match where they have 9 players change and they nearly beat Turkey, they only lose in the final minute. So, but yeah, it's really that susceptibility to these counterattacks. I think the good news is that Eden Dzeko is ancient. I'm not going to guess how many years he is into his 40s, but that matters. Really, also like too. If I was Team USA, you have to limit the corner kicks. Obviously, like that is the scarier part than the open play chances. Because sometimes Bosnia is going to be playing for that because they know someone like Dzeko can't run in behind the defense. So they really have to be perfect on this execution. And that's why we saw their best opportunity was from a corner kick on a near Olympico goal. So again, you're right. You have to come out with that energy, though. I would say if they don't get a goal before the 70 or 75th minute, they have to be on high alert and probably shouldn't press as high because at that point, Bosnia is really going to be looking to rip it because we just saw what happened with Senegal. Things can happen within 5 minutes. That's how dangerous the sport can be sometimes. So I think Team USA will be cognizant of that. But they were just dominant. There was no other way around that first half.
Abstract question. You're the Americans, you're sitting on a 1-0 lead, but we saw Senegal, we saw Ivory Coast, we saw all of these teams. And granted, it's kind of flipped in that we came into this as a shocking number, by the way, minus 800 favorite. Kind of blew my mind a little bit. But we've seen a lot of teams who have had that 1-0. We saw it happen to England earlier today. And then all of a sudden, 75, 80 minutes, something just flips and the whole game tilts on its head. And all of a sudden, you're looking the other way. What do you want to see to make sure that the Americans don't become a victim of that?
Oof, that's a great question because there's layers to that. You could say the finishing to not even allow Bosnia to have a chance because this is really like, this is right where Bosnia want them, honestly. And I know they're going to say to themselves, we were getting torched. But they're also going to say, well, it's just one. We've done this before. They were down 1-0 to Italy in that playoff, regardless if they were up a man. I don't really want to talk about the game, but it happened. It did happen. But you're right. You see that today. I would say one thing is none of those teams had that home field advantage. I think we've seen a lot of from Canada and Mexico take advantage of that. I mean, Mexico last night was the example of doing that. But the good news is here with Team USA, it's just not allowing Bosnia to breathe. That frustration that you saw on their faces was real because they know that they're getting torched and they're making mental mistakes, which Bosnia truly kind of doesn't make that many of them. They do get outplayed because of just the talent level that they have. But make no mistake about it, they're one of those sides that are like, if we can keep this close for 80 minutes or so, then we go all out for the last 15 minutes and change and see if we can get something out of it. They're so capable, they're so dangerous. But that's why I agree with you. You have to come out guns blazing first 20 minutes. You have to at least get that second. If you get the second goal, I would say by the 60, 65th and keep that pressure on, then you can sort of mentally break them down. Because then it's just like we're smothered. How else do we cover that? Because some teams like what Senegal approached with that 2-0 lead was one of the worst things that you can do. And that's inviting the opposing team to attack you instead of keeping your foot on the gas. And I think that slowly changed over time where the 2-0 lead is the worst in the sport. And you could also look just real quick at the England game too. They were putting the pressure on them that entire time. It's not like Congo was dominant. Congo was getting their licks in, make no mistake about that. But England just kept having chance after chance after chance. And eventually you're going to get worn down like that. But we'll see. I'm curious if Pulisic plays a full 90. That's
I was too. I was too. He said a couple of times, like, I'm good for 90. I'm good for 120. Sure, exciting. And I don't want to hear Captain America come out and say, I'm probably good for an hour and then I'm going to have to go.
Right.
Like, I want him to put that out there. And if nothing else, I want you to force Bosnia to have to think about what do we do if he is fully healthy and he is in his best form. We'll worry about that when we get to that bridge. So the next question that leads to me then, Martino, is we've kind of shifted to this too high tactical formation we've been using. But we're really kind of running three different guys because we've seen Dest own in wing. We've seen Pulisic playing all over the spot. We've seen Balogun play all over the spot. And you're even starting to see some of the other midfielders who are really almost moving all the way up into a full attack position. Do you think that is having an impact on the way that we are attacking, or is it just a matter of the right guy at the right time goes forward? Like, because I'm very much enjoying the fact that, and this was my call before the game, play the ball to the wing, force their back line to be compact to the goalkeeper, and it's opening up space up by the penalty spot, up at the top of the 18-yard box. And we've seen that a few times. We've only converted one out of that, but we've had a number of shots on goal because of it. And I think that has only happened because we are playing with more guys moving towards the back line than we have over the last few World Cups.
Exactly. You get the modern coach for it who is implementing that system in Europe. You have players that have this is like what, to your point, you're dead on, but this is what everyone had been expecting and been getting so upset about during Copa America, during other appearances, during the Gold Cup as well. Even if they do end up winning that, under Greg Berhalter, they were all over the place. With Pochettino, it's a free-flowing, closer to total football system where it's like you're not necessarily bound to a position, but you were positionless in space, where you occupy space, and if somebody's not there, you have to have their cover. It's very similar to backdoor passes and in the NBA or basketball, right? Like, you have to be aware if you commit towards the ball that there's going to be space opened up behind you or in other areas. And the same applies to the offensive pressing system that Pochettino implements here, where you're seeing McKennie and Dest go forward and they're linking up on the outside of the box and allowing Balogun to make those free runs too. I mean, if we're having guys crashing on the far post and in the middle where it was missed on the Kolasinac head flick, where Pulisic flashed it across goal, somebody's there crashing like that. That's what matters and will change their fortunes. I'm not sure if Des gets the full night. I think Des might be one of the first ones off. Tillman has been inconsistent. Tillman is one of the best athletes and presses in a great job. And when he's on his game, he shows up. He looks a little off today. It could be some of that rust. His touch doesn't look as smooth as it should be. And what happens when you have shakiness like that? It leads to counterattacks. And that's what I'm a little worried about with him. We'll see how quickly Pochettino will make a sub because we're about to come back to the second half. But they were free flying. This is one of the best halves we've seen in a knockout game for Team USA.
Don't disagree. I've got like 47 more questions I wanted to ask, but I wanted to turn you loose to go watch the second half. We're going to have you back in the post game to kind of finish this thing off. So I'll ask you two more real quick answers briefly as you want. Number one, we talked about it a minute ago. A lot of rotation out of the midfield, both forward and backwards, right? Like guys stepping back into that back line to kind of fill space. Are you happy with what we have seen out of that so far? And is there any concern about the second half? And number two, how do you feel the second half is going to play out for us?
I'm not that concerned. I think mostly everyone's playing well outside of how I mentioned. Just Tillman just seemed a little shaky. And again, any little mistake, if you're trying to force something, can lead to a counterattack. You know, that happens all the time. And how I'm expecting this is just for them to just box them in and keep pressing until they get that second goal. Then I'm curious to see how they approach it afterwards. If Pochettino is saying, let's keep the foot on the gas here, or he makes some changes where he wants more men in front of the defense to prevent counterattacks where he exposed Tim Ream, I expect that to happen. So someone like Brendan Aronson to come on for Dest. I would also envision someone like Sebastian Berhalter coming in. That's just who Poch likes. And ultimately, whether you agree or not on the level of the player's talent, the coach likes him. He's going to play. It's difficult to argue against. So I expect that, but let's see if they get a goal in the first 20 minutes, Rob.
I love it. Back underway. Martino Puccio joining us. My man, we'll see you back here after the game for a breakdown, brother. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, there you go. There's Martino. Martino's a dude, man. That guy knows ball. Easy conversation about any kind, any league, any level of footy. Love having Martino on. We are back underway live in San Francisco in the Bay Area. US 1-0 up over Bosnia and Herzegovina, courtesy of a Finn Balogun. Sorry, wrestling dudes. That's a very different dude. Courtesy of Balogun in the 45th minute. So we are up 1. 45-44, 45-45, 45-46 on the clock right now if you are going to watch with. Again, those of you watching over on Twitter, I know we're well north of 100 strong of people watching over on the Bird app. So if you're over there on Twitter, you want to jump in on our conversation in the chat room, go to YouTube. Find GameDay Garage on YouTube. Check us out there. If you do that, we actually have the chat room up. You can participate in it there. Or if you're on Twitter, shoot me tweets at The Rob Brown Show, at The Rob Brown Show. I'll be checking Twitter here in the second half as we run forward. And I can address your tweets over here as well. So feel free to hit us up at any way, shape, or form. Want you guys to be part of the conversation as we roll through the second half. 46-29 now on the clock. Yeah, this is kind of a weird spot. We talked a little bit about it, and I'm going to stick with it right now. Like it's a weird thing to say about this team because we have not done it very often. But I kind of want to see more aggression out of the U.S., which I think they were plenty aggressive in the first half, but I'd like to see the afterburner come on here because of like a 1-0. We talked about this with Martino a minute ago. A 1-0 scoreline is not good enough. A 1-0 scoreline can be turned to shit with one really solid counterattack by the Bosnians early. Like you cannot let them get it. If the Bosnians go on a full counterattack and they level this thing at 1-1 because we just played out of sorts and got out of position, this game immediately flipped on its head. You find the second goal, and we mentioned it changes the play style of the Bosnians entirely. If you can create that world where you force them to play up, you force them to come out of their shell, and you stay aggressive, 2 turns to 3 way faster than 1 turns to 2. Like that's just how it's going to play out. Like that from Pulisic. Played it wide, had space, took his time, set everything up, waited for some men to get into the box. You lost the physical battle for the header. And again, we know, like we talked about that. I think it was Joey B in the chat earlier that said you're not going to win a lot of headers just by jumping up and going and getting it. You've got to win the headers strategically. That's a great ball in. Ball's still free. Nah, that's say, again, good opportunity. Just got to finish. I will say this. I don't know if you caught that. Did you see who the closest to the ball was when it finally settled with the keeper? Tim Ream. Tim Ream. So, we talked about wanting to see more aggression. If we are sending Tim Ream all the way to the back post from the left back spot to be there for a bouncy header, like, that shows me the trigger's still pulled, man. Like, we're still playing hard. Bosnia is being a lot more aggressive in the back third now, though. I mean, they're attacking us at this point, and it's a good response. Like, this is the spot where we need to see the guys in white do what we thought the guys in blue were going to do, which is, okay, if you are going to come up, if you are going to attack us that deep in our third, then flip the field and play the counter. Also, shout out to Mark Shelley, who demanded that I put my Yingling out of a green glass into the Murica cup. Is this? I don't even know if did I flip the camera. I don't even know how to flip the camera. Who the hell cares? Not the point. We're drinking and watching footy. Let's go. Don't care. I'm watching football. 49:29 on the clock, by the way, for those of you who are watching with us live. All right, I didn't know my TV was that loud. How is it 49 minutes and 44 seconds into this game, and you guys are just telling me that you could hear my TV the whole time? Whatever, not the point. All right, so now Bosnia is in a bit of a problem because they've got Jeko, who is banged up, seeing the trainer on the sideline. They put the ball out of play to get him evaluated. Two things happen if he goes off. Number one, you lose arguably your most physical player there. Is he coming? So I don't know these. Okay, he is coming off. So that got a couple of subs coming in for the Bosnians. They are now. I will say this. I don't know if this is the strategery behind this one, but they are going to add another defender here, which makes me wonder, are they hesitant? Are they changing the strategy, or are they concerned and just want to handle the American pressure early, right? Like this feels like and Martino said during the half, like if the Americans can get a goal on the board by the 60th, 65th minute, then the game kind of starts to turn around a little bit for you. So my question mark here is if they are bringing on an extra defender here, and they're going to bring on one striker, one defender, but they're going to go down a midfielder and add a defender. If that is the case, then my question mark becomes, is that because they are going to sit back on the attack? Like, we're not going to see as many counters because they want to wear the U.S. out, and then we see they bring on maybe two strikers a little bit later on. They are now down to two substitutions. The Americans have not used one. We still have a full complement of 5 subs available. Martino said he thinks we're going to see probably Berhalter come on, which is fine. I mean, Berhalter, for all of the faults that we have had with Berhalter coming into this World Cup, like, the dude's been a dog. He's been playing his ass off for the boys, and I love to see it. But I like that you forced them into 3 subs early, because you can kind of gas them a little bit before the Americans send on fresh legs. My question mark here for Poach would be, and I'm only asking because this is the way that I handle it. The question mark for Poach in this spot is going to be, the Americans will have to throw deep in the Bosnian third. The question mark for Poach is going to be, as far as your subs go, do you gas them, let their subs wear out their legs, and then send on another couple of guys to play an attacking mid? Or do you gas them, let them run a couple of counters, get some tired legs, and then pull on more defenders? Like, I'll put it this way. I do not want to see the Americans come off the attack until there's a second goal on the board. Good opportunity there, just a little bit out of reach. As second or third time we've seen that happen. I can't really be upset, with the exception of Every time you send one over the back line, you give the Bosnians what they want, which is the opportunity to just sky one into the American third without having to work to advance it. Anytime that they can get the ball into our side of the pitch without having to work the ball there is a net negative for us. You're not going to see Bosnia do a lot. I don't think see Bosnia doing a lot of playing from the back. Like they're not going to build up. They want to send it down there and try to muscle us off. .53:37 on the clock for those of you who are watching along. Which I assume is most of you if you're here. If you're not here, you can't hear me, you don't care. All right, lock in, people. Also, can we go with this? Their coach breaking out the double-breasted vest jacket is a move, man. Like you can't rock the double-breasted jacket without having some damn confidence. I am incapable. I have tried. I cannot pull off a double-breasted jacket. I wear some of the most outlandish crap. I wear my wife's embarrassed to go outside with me levels of obnoxious clothing. I can't do double-breasted. Wish could. Just don't. I ain't got that dog in me. Their coach does. It's unbelievable. So really we're not seeing anything differently from the Americans. The only thing I might argue is that Weston McKennie is playing a little bit almost more of a forward position than as a holding mid right or an even attacking mid right now. Like he's been level with Ballo and Pulisic a couple of times up top. This is the first real offense we've seen out of the Bosnians, and they blew it. I mean, that was not that I'm pulling. I'm happy. That's a wasted opportunity from the Bosnians. Like that was the first time in a minute that they have had a set opportunity. Matt Freese was perfectly on his line. There was, short of that being just a piss missile to the top 90, there was nowhere that he was putting that was a threat. They had everything set up. That was the first time it looked like the Bosnians had a legitimate set opportunity to run something. And instead they just throw up a prayer, which I'm good with. If I'm going to read way too much into that, and I will every time. If I'm going to read way too much into that, that's a moment of panic from Bosnia. That's we have to make something happen. Like that's not only did my dude have the ball set, he did not have an American defender within 15 yards and still decided that he was just going to try to smoke it upper 90, which no, you're not. Not from there. Not from there. So that feels like a positive. That feels like the Americans have them frustrated. That feels like the Americans have them playing off the back foot of that. And I mean, even their back line, which was exceptional earlier, that's like 3 straight out of bounds turnovers. Now the front line is attacking. Like their front line is coming after the ball, which they were not doing that in the first half. Good defense. Yeah, so if you noticed, I think the defensive strategy of the offensive players for both teams is kind of flipped, right? In the first half, you had Ballo, McKennie, like these dudes were hitting our trigger, playing turbo to try to get to the ball, where the Bosnians were trying to build up an offense, and now it's the opposite, right? Like now there is a 4-wide wall of forwards. They are perfectly content to let Bosnia kind of build up in that back line. On the flip side, earlier, the Bosnians were happy to let the Americans kind of build up from the back. They're off their front 4 or 3 or 2, however many they had at any given time. They weren't attacking at all. Now, all of a sudden, anytime the ball finds its way to the cleat of an American defender, all of a sudden, there's trails of smoke coming at them. And I get it. I mean, that would be my play too, right? Like, especially late in the game, now that our back line has been out there, they've got 57-49 worth of tire tread off. This is the point where I think I would probably say start attacking their back line. Their back line will make mistakes. Their back line will screw the pooch here. And if they're going to do that, or if we can force them to do that, let's give that a rip. And I mean, so far, credit to our back line, they have not made that mistake that's led to the stupid turnover here. But this is the spot where it's kind of flipped. Earlier in the game, it was like the discipline of the front four and the tenaciousness of the back line is what's put us in this spot. And it feels to me like the game's kind of on its head now. Like now it's the discipline of the front four. Play smart with the ball. Don't give them stupid turnovers. Don't get out of your sorts. And on the back line, now it's about discipline. Now it's about not panicking when you've got two blue jerseys that are running right at you. That's a really good opportunity from their for their offense. Tim Ream to get back and make that play is exceptional. Now here's the counter, and this is what we look for. Game's on its head now. Now the Americans are on the counter. The Bosnians threw what they had to the box. The Americans weathered the storm and wasted it. Great play, great opportunity, great look, but that's not the man. That's rough. Now it feels like there's tension, which great call for Martino Puccio. He earlier said he expected that this game might kind of switch up a little bit around minute 60. Either the Americans bury a second one and it forces the Bosnians out, or the other way around, which is the Bosnians feel like they've worn out the back line and now they start being a little bit more aggressive. It feels like the latter is true. It feels like Bosnia is now kind of playing on the front foot. And it looks like the Americans are now letting them come to us, which concerns me a little bit, right? Like this felt coming in like it's the best defense is a good offense. And now all of a sudden it's Bosnia who are making the smart passes. It's Bosnia who are playing really smart passing lanes, really good angles. Another turnover like this. That's what I'm saying. Anybody else just suddenly like 12 to 16 times more nervous than they were 20 minutes ago? Just me? Here's the spot where, and I might be being a little cliche here, but like this is the spot where I really want to see the ball at the feet of our best players. Like this is the spot where I think you have to start earning space for Balogun. You have to start earning space for Pulisic. You have to start earning space for some of these players on the outside and giving them the opportunity to create. Like I was talking with Joey B in our chat earlier, and we're texting back and forth. And the nice thing about Pulisic and Balogun is Pulisic is probably the first guy we've had in a while that is genuinely talented at creating for other people. He can create space that can then open up the field for other players to take advantage. Balogun feels like the first guy in a long time that can create on his own. Like he can create his own shots. He can create his own goals. When you look at teams like England, and you saw Harry Kane today with those two absolute rockets in the second half for them to escape Senegal, the Congo. When you look at those teams, they've got that one guy that can create their own. You look at France. France has got two, maybe three guys up front, obviously led by Mbappe. But they've got two or three guys up front that can create their own goals. Not their own space, not their own passing lanes. They can create their own goals. Ballo feels like he's kind of that guy. Pulisic feels like the guy that can create space for anybody else to take advantage of. Right now, I've got to put the ball at their feet. All right, we've got a VAR. Oh no. All right, we're going to have a VAR check here. Ballo stepped on the back of the calf. And this is the third. Ballo goes off here with a red, and this game becomes, this is rough. Feels accidental, but I'm also super biased. This could be a real problem. You're going to see a very different Rob Brown for the last 30 minutes of this game if this is a red and Ballo gets sent off. And what do you do if you're poached and he does? What do you do in this spot if you lose your chief threat up front? How do you handle that? This is not a game-changing call. This is a tournament-changing call. This is terrifying. Genuinely, this is a terrifying moment. Oh, like I'm going to say it's not a red. I'm going to say it's incidental. I'm going to say maybe he catches a yellow. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. That's horrendous. That's horrendous. It's like, what do you want to, like, I know this feels cop out. I know this feels biased. What do you want him to do in that spot? He's playing to the ball. Their legs got wrapped up. His foot came down. There's nowhere else to go. You know what this is? This is targeting in college football. So now the Americans are not only down 10, but now the Americans are down 10 with their best scoring opportunity on the bench and not available for if you get through this against Belgium. God bless. I just heard them say this changes the game. This doesn't change the game. This changes the tournament. This changes everything. This changes this game, and it changes the next game. That makes me sick. So what do you do now? Do you? I think you keep. I think you keep the shape the same. You have Pulisic up front, and you just have the wingers play out. The problem is now Bosnia's got the vibes, man. I'm speechless. Like that is. I'm going to be super cliche here for a minute, and I don't know. I don't know if this is too much or not, but I have the same gut wrench feeling now. I have the same gut wrench feeling now that I did after the 2019 NFC Championship game. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a New Orleans Saints fan, and the New Orleans Saints got screwed out of a Super Bowl by the single worst missed pass interference call in the history of football at any level, anywhere. Do not at me. I do not give a shit what you think about it. That is what happened here. And I have the same vibe right now. Like that feels like a call that takes away a championship opportunity. Like I never once, even at my highest high, even after the win over the Aussies, at my highest high, like there was never a spot where I'm like, okay, we're winning this tournament, right? Like, okay, we're going to win the World Cup here. I never felt that. But I kind of had that why not us mentality. I kind of had that why not US, why not us mentality. And now all of a sudden it's gone. And not only now is it gone, but if you'll look, but since the red card, Bosnia's had their best 3 minutes of offensive football tonight. Like they've got our back line out of shape. They're maintaining possession. They're forcing us deep into our own box. Now Bosnia is doing to us what we were doing to them earlier in the game. That's horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. I don't know, man. This is where Poach makes the money because I don't know what you do here. I guess keep the same shape. Keep Pulisic up top by his front or by himself, right? Like he played up front by himself every game that Poach wasn't here. So keep him up front and just give the wings a little more freedom to go up and assist on the attack. But like, I don't know what you do without Balogun out there. I'm not saying this is depression, but it's sports depression. Like I am sports depressed. Earlier I was sports entertained. Now I am sports depressed. At this point, this game just went from go win the game to go survive the game. Like it's just survival now. It's survival with the understanding that the entire game plan for the round of 16, if you survive this game, your entire game plan for the round of 16 just got thrown on its ass. You have to come up with an entirely new strategy to attack Belgium at this point. And I don't know what it looks like. And our guys at this point, I don't know. Again, I said earlier, like, I'll admit I'm a dramatic bitch. All right. I'm a dramatic son of a gun. Is it just me? Maybe it's because we're down 10. or down 2-10. Is it just me, or does it to some degree kind of feel like the attitude of this entire team is off? All right, hydration break. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to separate. I'm going to step away. I'm going to reset. You should do the same. Go grab yourself a cold beer. Go hit the head. Go do what you got to do, because when we come back for the final however many minutes there are left, it's good vibes only. All right, we're powering the boys. Y'all stick around. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in just a minute. Unmute your mic, you dumbass. That's on me, boys. We're back. Yeah, Joey Beast to tell you this: if we advance, I'm not starting Pepe up top. It's Haji right all day. I would go with you on that. I would probably say Pepe just for a last few minutes desperation, step on the gas, get a boost kind of situation. But and like at this point, if you're the Americans, like you can't be thinking about that, right? Like, and I'm not saying Poach or anybody else is, but you're at the point now where all of a sudden a Bosnian team that has lived and died by the counter, a Bosnian team that has been trying to just get it to the midfield and unlock the safe to get into our attacking third. All of a sudden, the possession went from 60, 62, 63% to the Americans. I got to think in the last 15, 20 minutes, it's probably been predominantly owned by the Bosnians at this point. I mean, they're just goofing us now. And here we go. Scariest part of the game. Sit this back in the first half. Sit this back in the first half of the first half. Or, as we call them now, in the first quarter. Thank you, hydration breaks. The corners are the scariest thing in the world for me right now. Corners are terrifying. They had the near Olympico earlier. They had the second one that kind of dinged around in the box for a second before we punched it out. I am terrified at this point. I would love to say just balls out confidence, but I absolutely do not have it. So they won't play it in. They're going to run an organized set. Just clear it. Like just clear it. I may or may not have grabbed a shot of whiskey during that hydration break. I am hydrated. Okay, counter. See, here's what I don't like. My biggest gripe in sports, and for those of you who are hanging out with me who have watched or listened to my local radio show back when I was fortunate enough to have one forever and a day ago. One of my absolute biggest pet peeves in the world is when a team gets to a point where they're on the verge of success, and then they stop doing the thing that got them there, right? The expression, dance with the girl who brought you. We know what got us here, but this is kind of a different scenario than it would be in, say, football, because what you did and what got you here kind of requires you to have 11, kind of requires you to have an elite striker, an elite finisher playing inside the 18-yard box, and we don't have either of those. We are both down a man and down our biggest threat in the box. So on one hand, it's very much, I want to dance with the girl who brought me. It's very much, I want to play the football that got us into the knockout round, that won us the group after 2 out of the 3 games, that put us in a spot to be a big-time favorite in this match. On the flip side, what that is kind of unavailable to you now. So if I'm Poach, I'm in a spot because on one hand, do I want to play the way the Bosnians play, which is, do I want to hang back? Do I want to brick wall in front of the goal? And do I want to try to find and out-athlete a counter? But, I mean, we spent years bitching about Greg Berhalter doing that. There's a reason that we all got mad. It's because we just never had that. Never had the ability. But now it's almost like, are we mandated to do it? I don't know. We'll see. 75:38 on the clock if you are following along. If you're a little bit ahead of me, push pause for a second. If you're a little bit behind me, sucks to be you. USA chant rolling throughout the stadium right now. And, man, I need some kind of gas. Our back line is just running all over the place. Play well. Let me rephrase that, because I made it sound like they're running out of a panic. I'm not. They're busting their ass right now to try to keep us alive and afloat here. I feel a lot better at 86 minutes than with 14. Plus, we're going to have at least 3, maybe 4 minutes of stoppage time with a VAR check and a red card. So I would assume we're probably looking at 20 more minutes of football right now. Also have not, just for the record, have not made a sub yet. I have to imagine that's coming soon. This is, we're going to have a yellow card? Oh, I thought he was pulling a card. He just pulled trash out of his pocket. All right, Pulley's down. Let's hope that this is just a little gamesmanship. No. I mean, I don't think that's going to be anything serious, but the chat has gone absolutely silent, and I understand entirely. Nerve-wracking football right now. Stressed is the word. I would put a couple of other words in front of that word. I would put a couple of vulgar adjectives in front of the word stress right now. This is the spot where if Christian Pulisic wants to be him, he wants to be Captain America. He wants to be in that. Is that in? And the flag is up. Yep, that was my concern. Offsides. Oh. It's real close. I'm going to put it this way. If a genie showed up right now and gave you 3 wishes, all the money in the world would be 1, and this goal to be onside would be 2. Yep, he's off. Way off. Way off. Way off. No, I said it was close. 'Twas not close. 'Twas very offsides. That's so rough because the run was great. The look was great. The run was great. The pass was great. It was just too early. Now, again, at this point, you'll take that moment just to kind of hopefully get into the head of Bosnia. But at the same time, I would make the argument that Bosnia's had the best 15 minutes of the game in the last 15 minutes of the game right now. So I don't think, I can't imagine that they are necessarily concerned with any of this, right? Like, I can't imagine that they're concerned right now because they have owned the last 15 minutes of the game. But the thought would be you've owned the last 15 minutes of the game and the Americans still ended up, wow, I've said this close to potentially finishing this game off. Collect. Like, this is a spot where, and we're not doing it. Okay, we're getting a free kick. All right, I like that. It was a little bit of panic there, but this is a really good spot. I am very much uncomfortable right now. Yes, he was very close to popping a button. That's a great take. Oh, look at that. I can just put the chat on the screen. No, you know what? I know too many of you in the chat. I'm not going to do that. We're going to save that for another time. Somebody else owns this platform, so I'm not going to let you guys be in control of what gets said on the screen. All right, this feels like an enormous swing moment right here for 2 reasons. A, they're arguing, let them burn the time. Number 2, this feels like a real opportunity here. Like, you're not just trying to survive again. I mean, you are trying to just survive. You're trying to survive, but you're also trying to figure out what the strategy is now with Ballo off for the next game with a red card against a much better team in Belgium. Look at the wall from Belgium. 2, 3, 4, 5. What do they have? They have 9 guys. They have 9 on that wall. I mean, they are 8 on the wall, 1 more out wide. Honestly, I don't know what you do here. I'm usually a put it on the frame and play for the rebound guy. I might try to play 1 out wide here. Genuinely. Like, I don't think I try to curl it around a 9-man wall. Or tell Rob Brown to kiss your ass and just go bury it deep and let's go up 2. Bangarang. Hell yeah. That's a beaut. That's a beauty of a goal. I would not have had the balls to try that. Absolutely would not have had the balls to try that. USA. Yeah. My God, what a free kick. Everybody can take a deep breath now. Everybody can take a deep breath now. We're a little bit closer. Holy shit, y'all. Oh, my God. Poof. That's also why I'm not a coach. Because I absolutely would not have said, take a rip. I mean, that's as good as you can hit it. You can't hit it better than that. Just an abs. Whew. I mean, over homeboy's head by a 1/4 inch. Incredible. Would not have had the balls to try that. That's unbelievable. All right, so now I'm playing slightly more conservative, but I'm changing nothing. Right, and we still haven't subbed, by the way. 83 minutes exactly played right now. Still have not made a sub. Don't know what Poach's plan is with that. I would think we got to start seeing subs one at a time coming on now, right? So now you're at a point where Bosnia's got to start attacking. Like they have to come out now. So the question now is, what can you do with the ball on the counter to move through? And this is good. This is good. This is good. Okay, well, was good. That's all right. I mean, you're talking about a full 30 seconds worth of reset here. And at this point, 30 seconds feels like forever. God, that kick was so good. Yeah, Joey B, I agree with you. As much as everything's kind of running through him right now, I you know what I would do? This is what I think I would do. I would take Pulisic off. I agree with you. I would keep him as I have to say fresh. He's played 84 minutes of football so far, but I would take Pulisic off. You know who I'd put on? And Joe B, I don't know if you would agree with me on this one. I put Berhalter on right now, and I would just tell him like, "Hey, bulldog this shit, man. Bulldog this shit right now. Just go out there, be reckless. Don't get a yellow, but be reckless, be aggressive, be obnoxious, buzz on the ball. Like you are I would almost kind of play him as a. I know it's a little tougher to do when you're down to 10 men, but I'm almost playing him as a non-position player. Like your position is, if one of them has the ball in our attacking third or midfield, you're on his ass like white on rice. That's how I'm doing that one. I'm not saying I want to go like all defensive guys. I am saying I'm telling my midfield, which has been because it started as a 3-5-2. But we've really seen at any given point two midfielders that have stepped up. So it's really been more of like almost a 3-3-4 for the US through this game. I'm just switching that. And I'm going to tell my midfielders, let the two play up front, whatever side they're rotated to. If they're rotated to the left, I want my right side midfielder attacking. If they bring it back to the middle, you drop left side, go up. I would just play offside midfielder, goes up and plays the third forward, but I would just have it at 3. I would not send another one. The rest of you, put your heels at midfield and do not pass that line again like today. I would be willing to play 3v9 on their attacking third. I don't want to park the bus. I don't want to pull everybody back. But I would say build a line at midfield. Make them earn. You're giving them plenty of time in the attacking third. Oh. I know what the idea was there, and I know what the purpose of that was. And I'm glad he did it. But holy shit. All right, well, we'll call it we'll call it gamesmanship. We'll call it gamesmanship. That's fair. I like that call. As if we haven't seen teams do this in the United States. Happy CONCACAF Day, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that's just CONCACAF football at its finest right there. All right, now we get subs starting to come on. Pepe's coming on. Who else we got? We got Burr. So we were right. Berhalter's coming on. Pepe's coming on. And I'm good with that, honestly. But who are you pulling for him? Pulisic. Yep, that's the right call. Okay, nailed it. That's what we're going with. I like that. And I'm good with that because I'm as up and down as Pepe can be in the box as a striker. I'm just putting a bunch of yellow jackets up front now, man. I'm just putting a bunch of annoying sons of bitches up front. And I'm going Buzz. Just stay on top of the soccer ball. Do not give them room to breathe right now. They're when they're getting the ball into our third, and there you go. That's exactly what we're doing. When they get the ball in our third, they're too comfortable. So instead of waiting for them to get it into our third, let's attack them in the midfield. Let's attack them on their third, right? Like if they get it to our third, great. They can set up and they can try to run their stuff. But let's just buzz. Let's just be on top of them for the length of the field. It is not just you're going to get down there and be able to set up your offense and then you're going to be playing into a a wall of bacon stripes. Like, you're going to have to bust your ass to get it to the attacking third and then bust your ass to run your offense. I'm good with it. $88-22, boys. Hang in there. Looking at probably, I would guess, 4, maybe 5 minutes of stoppage time here. Up a couple. Look at that momentum chart. I don't know if it's if you guys got it on the screen. I'm at 88-35. That momentum chart is, I mean, once that red card came, man, it just absolutely down in the dump. Bingo. Exactly what I'm throwing at. Listen, if Pepe gets a crack, have a crack, right? If you get a wide open look, if you get an opportunity and you want to try to make a goal, have at it. I'm not going to stop you, but that's not why you're out there. You are out there right now to be an absolutely annoying son of a bitch. That's all I want out of you. Just be annoying. Play in both their back and front pockets at the same time. There's a good ball in. I like that. Built the wall. Now, my question is, what can you go back the other way? Oh, that was real close. Hey, by the way, it's a real quick aside. The Atlanta Braves won a baseball game. I don't get to say that often anymore. What an absolute. What a year the Braves had. 11.5 game lead in the division, down to 2.5 because we have not won a game in the month of freaking June. Oh, and it's July, by the way. Anyway, could win the series tomorrow. We'll see if that happens. All right, we are rapidly approaching the end of regulation time. Defense is out, but Bosnia's got an opportunity into the box, played it back. I like this. I'm actually really happy with the close defense here. 10 minutes of stoppage. 10 minutes of stoppage. Oh, God. Now, see, this is what I don't want. Like, you brought the boys on, and now you're waiting for them in the midfield. I even if it's just the front two, right? Even if it's just the front two guys, keep on that ass. We still have 3 subs, by the way. Now, I don't know who else we'd want to bring on at this point. That makes me feel genuinely better than what we have out there. Maybe another defender, but at the same time, like, if we're keeping it a buck, the guys who are playing in the box are actually playing pretty well right now. Like, they're getting the ball into the box, but they have not had a clean look from inside of probably 20 yards. Their best couple of chances have come from much deeper than that. So, and again, if they want to play keep away and pass it around, I'm great with that. Like, their crosses right now are ineffective. There's nobody on the end of it. Every time they send one in the box, there's a head on top of a white shirt that's there to stop it. Okay. And I think Freeze had a better line than they thought he did there. Like that, I mean, that's a good shot. Maybe it's closer than I thought. .92:09 on the clock. If anybody's trying to sync up here, 10 minutes of stoppage time laid out. Bosnians have absolutely owned the football for the past, 20 minutes. Americans now in possession. And this is the first time it's felt like we've had a real opportunity to build up something in a while. And honestly, I'd be aggressive. Like, I would try to get the ball into the box. I would not just waste time dribbling around. Like, play it in. I know you want to kill some time, but that's rough. That's rough. Fair play, McKinney, but that's rough. Yeah, that's Boston Red Sox are the Boston Red Sox are probably the only thing that's keeping me from jumping off of a tall building as an Atlanta Braves fan right now. ...2002, last time we've won a knockout round stage. Now, in fairness, this is the expanded version. We've got 32 teams in the knockout round, but there's an expression we used to use in college, ladies and gentlemen. It's called a slump buster. Sometimes you just got to have a slump buster. Sometimes you just got to roll through a slump buster to remind yourself you got that dog in you. I like this. I don't like this. I like this. Like we keep having these really good moments, and then you do like something questionable inside of them, but it works out. I'll take it. See, I will say this: we're not pressing in support like we were earlier in the game. We're not pressing in support like we were earlier in the game. Earlier in the game, if Tillman's making that run up the left-hand side, we've got 3 dudes crashing behind him and getting ready. Not this time. Like this time I think we had Pepe. I think we had Pepe making a run at the spot, and then everybody else just kind of hung back. And I get it. I understand why this point specifically don't want to get yourself in a position to be susceptible and counter. Perfectly. So McKinney off and Gio Reyna on. This feels like a good spot for Gio Reyna too. Like last couple of times down, we've actually had a little bit more possession. Not as much as I'd like, but this feels like a really good opportunity for Gio Reyna, who, I got to think Gio Reyna's playing with a bit of a chip on his shoulder right now, right? Like with all the crap going on around him and his family, there's got to be a little bit of a chip on the shoulder for Gio. Not the shot, Alex. Not the shot, my guy. I don't mind him taking it, but that's an adrenaline shot right there is what that is. Man, I'm doing the full gamer move fully, and I apologize for those of you who are looking into my ugly ass face right in the camera, but I'm just doubled over right now. This is rough. Rough watch, fellas. No, it's a good back off. Like I know it looked like he left it there for Bosnia, but you got to assume he's going to play that. Let the Bosnia. Sometimes it's the chess match, man. Look at that possession chart. 30 minutes into this game, it was 63% to the Bosnians. Towards the end of the game, it's now at like 38% to the U.S. Unreal. That's what I'm saying. Second half, they dominated with the football. Granted, we dropped off a little bit after the red card and played much less aggressive with the football, but that's still a huge swing in possession. Is that guy's chest tattoo real? There's no way. There's no way that was a real chest tattoo, right? That was like Cody Rhodes' neck tattoos level of audacious there, if that was real. There's no way that's a real chest tattoo. Like, I hope it is, because the absolute balls on that guy. But there is no way that's... I can't. I want to believe, but I can't. I am shit square turds nervous right now, fellas. And ladies. I'm not judging this comment at all. I'm just simply providing all of you the ability to read it. I am neither confirming nor denying its understanding. I'm just putting it out there for all of you to read it. That's all. Correct. Just that right. I can't even look through it. Just that right now. Oh, that took just a nasty hop to the right. I think he gets it. If that ball could go in, I think he gets a hand on it. Look at that thing spiked to the right. Oh, woof. That's a hell of a shot. I think he had that blocked if it would have been inside enough to score. I also don't like that he had the opportunity for whatever that's worth. See, what I don't like right now either is that we're just, oh God, here we go. In the last two possessions, they are about a combined 6, which is a very average amount of inches away from having goals on the board. Like, what do we like? That man just ran 30 yards unmolested. That's unbelievable. What's your attitude, Tim? Love you, brother, but my man just ran 40 yards uncontested through the middle of your defense. That's free kick. Okay, good. I was about to lose it. I would have had I would like being up 2. We have 45 seconds to play, and I'm still losing my mind right now. God, I love the World Cup so much. Just laser this son of a bitch at the guy dressed like you on the other side of the field. I mean, just rocket shot this thing into the box. Free kick, so they'll if they send ball game. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States of America win this game 2-0. We are on to the round of 16. Oh, that was a hell of a lot closer than I would have liked it to have been. What can you say? It's just like that right there. Y'all stay tuned. Stay right there. I'm going to come back here in just a minute. Martino will be back with us. We will address a little bit of post-game. We'll take a quick look ahead at the game against Belgium in the round of 16 and see, is there a chance without Balogun that the Americans can move on to the round of 8? Stay right there. Martino and I will be back in just a minute. Didn't unmute the mic again. Dos Cicero, 2-0. Good win. It's the best you could have asked for, right? If you knew coming in that somewhere just over an hour into playtime you were going to lose Balogun and he was going to be sent off, and I told you you're going to win 2-0, you'd have been happy with it. It was a tight sphincter there for a little while. I thought the boys played well. I mean, the vibes seemed to be very high. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right this very second. That clip they just showed a second ago of Pochettino singing Country Roads is it's going to sustain me until the next game. It's just vibes are high right now for Team USA. I don't know, man. I look at this game and it was really told in two different spots. Half of it was before the red card and half of it was after. I thought before the red card, specifically in the first half, more so in the first half than the second. But I think that in the first half, for the most part, you did what I really wanted to see, which was you dominated on the wings. You played out wide. You made their defense drop and compress. And then you took advantage of whatever space they offered you in the middle of the field. I was concerned about the defensive back line. I thought they played really, really well. Honestly, I think the back line probably played well through the entire, to be honest, through the entire second half, because they were under a lot of threat in the second half. I thought that was a dangerous spot. There was a lot of concern there. But I think that, I'm not going to lie, I don't know how much of that you heard. And I am the biggest a-hole in the world because I kind of forgot that my mic was on my scarf when I sat back down. So I'll run through all of that again. See how many of you guys texted me to tell me, hey, jackass, your mic's off. All right, here I am. Holy crap. Hey, listen, I'm a little wound up. All right, I'm a little wound up. Okay, I've got some thoughts. Tale of two matches in that spot. And I think the mark of delineation, obviously, was the red card. Pre the red card, really happy with what we saw. Pre the red card, pretty happy with what we had. The key for me was play to the outside, work your way inside on the offensive side, right? Play on the outside, play to the wings, play it to the outside of the box, earn space. Decompress, or I should say compress their defense, get them having to play back and stepping back to the keeper, find out where the room is in the middle of the field. Two wings on the outside, two in the middle, and wherever there's space that opens up, one stays high, runs into that space. If it's on this side, flip it back over and go the other direction. And I thought we saw a lot of that. I would have liked to have taken more advantage of that, but I was happy the way it played. A massive amount of credit, I think, is due to the unit on this team that I don't want to use the word disrespected the most, but disrespected the most. That is the back line, specifically after the red card, because we spent a lot of time in that second half with Bosnia getting sustained offense instead of the quick counters and trying to run it up on us. They had more time. They had more possession. They were able to work the box more. And with a couple of exceptions really deep into the game when we were sitting on a 2-0 lead, I thought the back line played exceptionally well. Let's get my man Martino Puccio back in here. Brother, we got a lot to try to run through very quickly. Let's start with what is likely the most important news, which is the red card on Balogun, which sent him off in this match, put us down a man, but also eliminates him from the Belgian game unless we appeal and win, which I doubt would be the case. What's your take on the red card, and what impact does that have on the U.S. in the round of 16?
One, it struck PTSD like you have no idea. Up 1-0 against the Bosnians and a red card happened. I literally wanted to get to the nearest bridge, and I won't say the rest. That's what it felt like. I couldn't believe it. And it's a completely avoidable one at that. Unfortunately, Flo put himself in a position where that got called a red card, but there's zero consistency there. I tweeted it out. I was like, Messi had a red card that should have been called in the first match of this tournament, where he puts up his cleat behind a player and he stomps on him. There was also a play in the Australia-USA game where Tyler Adams got stomped on, very similar to that. I've only seen one red card, and that was tonight. The appeal, we don't know how that'll go. fingers crossed with that. But just the mental resolve of this team to really not even look like they were down a man for a period of time. And that right there is another moment in which you recognize this is the best men's team to ever exist for this country. They are just that good now. It's true. They've made it to the round of 16. They've attained their goals. Like if they would have lost tonight, would have been a crash out of embarrassment. Now it's house money. And that's where it gets exciting. Because Belgium, they could be had. They absolutely could be had. And they could be looking at a quarterfinals and anything goes from there. I was just so impressed with how they managed to do that. Des drawing that foul right outside the box was incredible. To get that spot anyways was like to just pull that off, and Pochettino sticking with his guns too. There weren't really many substitutes until much later on in that. He said, okay, fine. Balogun's gone. Christian can play up top isolated because he's capable of doing that. We'll have the bodies organized behind him just in case. And they pulled it off. I just Bosnia was still really not even that threatening. Their best chances were still shots outside the box. That, to your point too, we give the defense, a lot of harsh criticism, myself included. But Chris Richards and company, just great, just a great job. And it's really surreal to see a Team USA play like that on the biggest of stages against a European side, which they've struggled mightily against. And we know that there has been about half a decade since they got one in any competition friendly, yada, yada. So, one of the best moments, Malik Tillman having that shot go in. It just feels like in a moment like that, it never happens for Team USA. Today it did. It just like even the goalkeeper didn't play it well. You could say that. It doesn't matter. That one was just the kill shot. And I'm just so happy about it. It's just one of those feelings where it hasn't settled in yet because it's that big of a victory. It's a smashing success, this tournament. They've dominated. They played well. They scored goals. They kept a clean sheet today. And even down a man, I have not enough great words for what Mauricio Pochettino did for this coaching job. Took it over in a very turbulent time. Not many World Cup qualifying no World Cup qualifying matches. So it's difficult to keep that level of intensity, have players that want to stay fresh and get ready for this tournament and try and keep that chemistry and cohesiveness that we're seeing right now. And that's a testament to him and his coaching job. So 10 out of 10, USA, incredible. One of the best nights to support this team. And it's well paid off.
Completely agree. Let me jump the shark. Let me go way too far on the fast forward button here and ask you two separate questions and get your thoughts on both of them. The first one is, we've seen Argentina and what Messi is doing. We've seen France and what that team is doing. Harry Kane was able to kind of find that next level today and look like a stud today. If the Americans get past Belgium in the round of 16, what would you handicap it as the Americans a chance to let's not say win the tournament. Let's say make it to the first finals ever in I don't know, 100 years.
So you're saying a semifinal or a final?
Yeah, no, let's say the final. Let's dream big here. We get by Belgium even without Balogun. We win that game 1-0, 2-1. Do we have a realistic shot at just getting to the World Cup finals?
France is right there in the semifinals.
Yeah, I think that's
potentially. Fair. France are frightening. They are. It's one of those things where I was heading into the tournament where I'm talking to Nick, I'm talking to other people, and they're just like, who's going to win it? Truthfully, I thought it was a little wide open compared to most years. I still feel that way. But then you get into you watch France, like you watch the Dodgers and you watch some of these teams, you're like, sometimes it's just no argument and they're the best. France might exactly be that because each of their top three players are arguably the best in the world and nobody else has that. And they have the depth where they have contenders for Premier League Player of the Year or some of the best players of the year and like Ryan Cherky and that stuff. Team USA to knock off the French, it would be the greatest game and moment since the Miracle on Ice for any Team USA, anything in any sport. I mean, far greater than them beating the Canadians for hockey. That would be for the far on favorites in France to beat them in a semifinal to get to the World Cup final would be the craziest thing. And funny enough, just like the Miracle on Ice, it wasn't even the gold medal game against the Russians. It was the semifinals. I mean, no, I don't see it. I would love to see a quarterfinal. If they somehow were to, if they do play France, I mean, it would be insane. I think it's definitely one of France or Morocco. I'd be stunned if it wasn't. That gets to that semifinal. And then also like the winner, I mean, even if they get past like Spain too, imagine they do Spain and France. Spain is a possibility. The other 4 teams that are opposing them outside of Belgium are pretty difficult. But I think they could beat Belgium. I wouldn't be surprised for a moment. Belgium has looked like one of those pedestrian-looking sides, and I know their comeback today was tremendous. I think it was more about Senegal than it was about Belgium. I am really like, because Team USA now, like their mentality, and people are going to cite 2014 when Tim Howard had like 16 saves for the World Cup record, which is not a good thing, by the way. You don't want that. That means you're really close to conceding a lot. It's not 12 years ago. It's a totally different core. These guys have played in Champions League finals, some of the biggest Premier League games, some of the biggest games in the top leagues in the world. They're battle tested too. So for people to historically maybe try and apply context to this, it's unprecedented. And that's why it's beautiful, because you don't know what the ceiling is. It could go further. We've seen teams in World Cups that make deeper runs that probably have no business being there, but Team USA's side of the bracket's much tougher than some would like to imagine. But it's asking me like if the Jets win the Super Bowl because I'm a Jets fan. Like I don't know, man. Like
That's fair.
If they
That's
even
fair.
got there, I would be losing my mind. So yes. And then the
That's fair.
second question was
No, well, so the second question was going to be, and we don't have to spend a bunch of time on this. I know that the narrative around Poach, because I got to think right now, like we're all in love with what Poach is doing with his team right now. So the question would be, because the narrative has been he was going to do one cycle with us, but he wants to go back. He wants to coach at a top-notch club. He wants to go back to Europe.
Right.
He wants to kind of coach at a Premier League or a Bundesliga side. What are the odds, especially if we make a deeper run than expected? We get by Belgium and make it to the quarters. We get maybe into the round of 8. Hell, we make it to a semifinal. Is there any chance he looks and he goes, holy shit, I'm the Superman of Team USA Soccer. They're building statues of me. I'll stick around for one more cycle. Or should we go ahead and continue to accept right now that we got one run with this cat and then it's on to the next one?
I already think he's going to stay. The jobs that were open for him weren't the most luxurious. And to your point, too, you've already managed the greatest U.S. men's national team of all time, and they're probably only going to get better, and they could probably play better in Copa America. Like, this is a success. It's done. Like, even if they lose to Belgium, it's a smashing success. They got people interested. Everyone's rallying around them. They're a lot more likable than they've been in recent years. It's a testament to him. I think he handles the press very well sometimes. And even his apology recently, like, you know, I felt like it was warranted. We've seen far worse in media over here.
Oh, yeah.
What Poach was. That's also a lost in translation kind of thing. And also, this guy's managed in London for Tottenham Hotspur. This is not anything that he's not used to or could handle in the first place. I actually think he stays on. To take them to Portugal, Spain, Morocco in 2030, why wouldn't you? If you have a shot at win Gold Cup, you make it to a quarterfinals with this team, sure, expectations will be high in 2030, but pressure is a privilege, is it not? And for Poach, that could be it for him, because sure, there could be another potential job opening up, but if this didn't happen in this cycle, you're getting years and years away from when you last managed at club level. And guys, you missed the boat for it. Maybe in the future he tries to go in to find a club for that. But right now, like, you're going to get an extension. You're going to get a ton of money. You're beloved. You're probably looked at as the greatest men's national team coach of all time. And what else could you want? Give it another shot at the next World Cup. We know it's expanded. You're going to have an opportunity for that. And guess what, Rob? A lot of this core right now, they're relatively young outside of Tim Ream. Maybe you get a better goalkeeper. Maybe you get more defenders. You don't know what's going to happen in 4 years. A lot can happen. Look at what happened with what it was in Qatar. We didn't think anything would get to this moment. We saw that they were stumbling like even 2 years ago, getting knocked out early of Copa America. Things look bleak for people. Now they get it. Now they understand how to utilize their talent, high pressing, Sure, you got holes in other areas, but what does everyone talk about all the time? If Team USA had athletes, if we used our best athletes, we would be the best in the world. Yes, yes. But you're using that athleticism finally, are you not? Yes, and
Yep.
it's working. This stuff takes time, and yeah, this has just been such a home run. I expected to get to the knockout stages and see what happens there. They've been awesome and one of the best teams in this tournament. And nobody could really knock them down a peg. No one played against Bosnia better than Team USA did today, and that's without a man. I don't know. I know I'm rambling a bit, but I think Poach stays. There's no reason for him to leave. I would say it would have to take a top tier job in Europe to take him away. And I just don't see him being offered that job right now, unless the team goes into chaos and it's like, okay, this is too good to pass up. But I think he's going to be staying for the next cycle.
Which I think is very possible. Now let's reverse and go back from the future back to the present. After that game today, and we talked a little bit about kind of what we expected and what we saw. We expected to see a back line that was maybe under pressure a few times. I thought they kind of exceeded, at least my exceeded expectations today. I saw a midfield that, as far as rotating to be supplemental to both the front and the back line when necessary, maybe a couple of times did they really ever get caught out of position, which was the biggest concern against a team that plays so well off the counter. And I thought up until Balogun went out, kind of the same thing with a two-man front and always having a third, sometimes fourth midfielder rotating in. I thought this team was as consistently fluid with as few mistakes as we've seen them play. Let's assume Balogun's out for the Belgium game on the red card. Let's assume an appeal is unsuccessful. Without him, do we have the ability to have that same level of success with this system of football against Belgium?
The same system can work. Ricardo Pepi is more service dependent. He doesn't get himself into play as much as Balogun does. He's more of a when people say technical player, that means a more skilled player with the ball at his feet. So Balogun is more of a technical player than Pepi is. Pepi is more service dependent, as I was saying. Has pretty decent link up play. He'll be able to press. He plays in a respectable league in Holland over in Europe. If people go off of the performance against Turkey, for example, I think that's a poor example to use because they rotated the entire team. He didn't have the ability to play with Pulisic, who, by the way, got out earlier today, which is positive news. He wasn't able to play with the Dests of the world. McKennie's behind him and these other players. I think he'll be able to do it. He's not as mobile. He's not as good of a finisher. But if you tell me if Team USA presses, get their corner kicks, get their free kicks, Pepe's a target man in the box. He can be of a threat. He is not a massive downgrade. He's a clear downgrade. But you know what? Ricardo Pepi as a backup, this current version of him, was better than any striker that Team USA had in 2022. And guess what? They didn't even make it in 2018. So that's how deep this team is. That's the crazy part, is that you're still having a European capable goal scorer as your backup after you lose Balogun, who's been one of the best players in the tournament, in my opinion. So that's if that happens, which I still believe they'll have a good chance at this appeal, honestly, because the lack of consistency, which we see Messi with that stomp, not get called a red card. We're going to all see that this was incidental and nothing malicious within that. And they're going to revoke it, in my opinion. I think he will be playing against Belgium, but as to your point is like, hey, if that doesn't happen, yes, I think Pepi will do fine. They might be a little bit slower in pressing, but you press as a team. It's not always just the individual. So I'm feeling confident about it.
Let me throw a couple of follow-ups at you on that one. The first one's going to be in regard to the red card. Like I know for years the complaint has been the NBA understands how important star power is, and you see guys like Steph Curry and LeBron. They get a little bit more leeway committing fouls, and they get a little bit more in terms of taking fouls. We know the NFL has done everything for years to make sure quarterbacks are as safe as possible because star power matters. Does FIFA treat the World Cup the same way and look, Team USA, host of the World Cup on American soil in a great soccer stadium. The best chance for this to be the best game is with Balogun there. Is there any chance that there is the Jordan rules that come into play here? Much like I feel, and it kind of sounds like you do as well, that Messi kind of got the Jordan rules with his no red card back in the opener. Is that what makes you lean towards that, or is this just a matter of, hey, look, it kind of incidental and it sucks it happened, but the appeal's a winnable appeal?
FIFA is the NCAA on steroids. They will do anything. This is an organization that is deemed to be one of the most, if not the most unethical sports organization in the sport. So when you in sports, the entire planet. So if you tell me, oh, would FIFA maybe do something? Yes, of course they would.
Yes.
Why wouldn't they? And it's not even to it's a very valid question to a normal person, but they are not. They do not care. Sure, Jordan will look, yeah, absolutely Messi got away with that. Ronaldo has gotten away with stuff too prior to tournaments. They do this. But also just objectively speaking, the US have a really good case with this. It's not an egregious red card. They have a case here, and there's examples to back them up with it. And it's in FIFA's best interest. Absolutely. Look at how they've been accommodating the US, and especially, a certain person. So the treatment that they've been giving everybody over here, it wouldn't shock me to your point. And if people don't really know about FIFA, there is a very long rabbit hole you can go down if you're interested in knowing some of their history and things that they've done. And that's just in the past 10 years. Forget about their entire existence. So
I was going to say, please don't go down the rabbit hole because you will not stop reading until Sunday. So hang out. A couple more thoughts. So we were talking a minute ago. You mentioned Pepe coming on to the depth.
Right.
I was having a conversation in a chat with one of our viewers earlier. I almost lean and tell me why I'm a dumbass who doesn't know ball, Martino. I almost leaned. I think I might go Haji right out the gate and then let Pepe be a sub towards the end of the game for much the same reason we saw him tonight, which is give me that late spark, give me those fresh legs late when you can kind of be that little annoying ass yellow jacket who's buzzing around and just stinging whoever gets the ball in our attacking third. But I also know, looking back to the game against Turkey, where we played predominantly backups, 9 changes to the starting 11, I think people forgot that Turkey is a very good team.
Yeah.
But it also looked like there were a bunch of our backups on that team who maybe weren't ready for that spotlight. Does that give you any concern when it comes to finding the guy who can step in and maybe not meet what Flo Balogun can do, but get as close as we can get?
No, I wouldn't say so. Turkey, the funny thing about them was they had registered over 60 shots and couldn't finish. It's like you're getting wide open threes in the NBA, but your shots aren't falling. And when you're in a 3-game tournament and you can get eliminated after 2 games when you have the type of performance they did, Kenan Yildiz and Arda Güler, the forwards for Turkey, are some of the most talented players in the world. So for the backups to just lose in stoppage time, I don't think that should have a lot of people freak out. I thought they played well, all things considered. I would say, though, to the Haji Wright point, listen, it depends on what Pochettino wants to plan in terms of attacking Belgium. Does he want to keep that style of pressing, but have more wide play instead of that central link up because Pepe's a lot more limited? Or do you just want to hit out on counters where you have Haji involved? I think Haji is going to be someone that'll be coming off the bench. I think Poch is a fan of Pepe. He uses him quite often. I could definitely see that happening. I don't see a Gio Reyna even getting a start either. I think it's strictly put Pepe in where Balogun was and try and go with that if that is the case. And the Haji Wright idea is not far-fetched. It's not poor, but I think that they know that Pepe is by far their best target man, and you rather start that guy than sit him. Pulisic's a pretty good finisher, but we've seen how dangerous he is out wide. So I think he's going to be more of that creative role. But that's also to a point I just brought up in my own head is, does he use Pulisic more central to play off of Pepe to give him more of that help instead of out wide and trying to give him some crosses and service? It'll be interesting. But yeah, I think Pepe starts. And again, I think if anything, by the way, for that match against Turkey, all the backups would have more confidence because then they were almost able to come out with a good result against a good country, despite the fact that they got eliminated with pure backups, which is not easy to do because, again, the season over in Europe ends in May. These guys have not really been playing and getting heavy minutes in a very long time. So to be that fresh, to come out with that sort of attitude says a lot.
I think that is abundantly fair. All right, another couple of minutes, and we will call this thing. Let's go with the big question here. Number one, playing this game out in your head. U.S. versus Belgium. It is in Seattle. I would make the argument, correct me if you disagree, I would make the argument. I think Seattle's probably an even more electric environment than San Francisco is for American football. We know what the Timbers have done there. We know what that stadium looked like in our last World Cup game there. What does this game look like in your head? Having seen Belgium go down a goal today, having seen Belgium send Lukaku out late because he kind of looked like he was getting gassed at crunch time. What does this game right now today play like in your head?
I think Belgium is going to be a little too old and slow. I don't think Rudy Garcia is going to be able to combat it. You know what the funny thing is? A lot of people have to come to the realization is Team USA has a huge coaching advantage in this. And I am dead on about this. Like, Poach is levels above what Rudy Garcia is. Rudy Garcia, very familiar with him in Serie A, the Italian league. Sometimes you look in world football and you look at some of the coaches that are in this tournament and you say, how are you still employed? Rudy Garcia is one of those people. He is a very poor manager, and you see it in his tactics. Lukaku has to be that super sub now. He cannot play for 90 minutes. That's been a problem with Napoli. It's really been a problem since he left Inter and got sold to Chelsea. He's fallen off, and that's kind of been a negative for him. Kevin De Bruyne, who is their legendary player, very slow, still cannot combat with that. Belgium have athletes. They have talent. They're disorganized often. And when they kind of get shell-shocked, that's why today was so insane for them, because that is uncharacteristic of Belgium. That's like exactly like the Sixers knocking out the Celtics after a 3-1. It's like, we didn't expect you to do that this time. Pretty good, but the expectations are still low. Belgium, I don't see them coming out looking great. But I'll say this, when a team had come back from that sort of depths of hell, down 2-0 to go and win in extra time, probably not the best team to want to face mentally, because now Belgium themselves are going to be sitting there saying, looking at us, oh, it's Team USA. They're good, but we got tons of quality on our side. We could go and handle their business. And Seattle is arguably the best and loudest sports city in the country. So we see what obviously the Seahawks do. We watch Sunday Night Football. They're talking about the Richter scale going off because of the noise that they make over there. It's tough. It's tough, but it's also the funnier thing. This is where home field advantage comes into play. It's every single game Team USA plays from here on out is the biggest in their history. And that's that. And do you want to face that? Can you handle that? And the weather, by the way, I don't think they can handle it. I don't think Europeans are having an easy time with it, and they're struggling. and I don't think that Team USA is going to lay down and mess up the way Senegal did. And Belgium can be had. I've watched all their games. They're not playing well. Today was a miracle, in my opinion. So I think Team USA is going to hit them in the mouth and keep playing the same way that they've been playing. Abandoning your identity late into a tournament is nonsense. And I'm not saying that anyone's alluding to that, but you have to stick with what's working. They're going to. I think it'll be loud and electric for that first half. And very much like this one, you have to go up early and force Belgium to be in a situation where they not only kind of have to panic, but they have to get desperate for a goal. And that's the best Belgium you want to face, in my opinion.
No, I said the same thing. It's been a war cry of mine as long as I've been a broadcaster. Dance with a girl who brought you. Whatever you've done and done well to get you in a position to have success, I don't understand why people stop doing that. In fact, I kind of had my blood pressure rising a little bit late in that game because both teams in this game tonight, Martino, kind of took each other's spot, right? Like earlier, it was Belgium who was playing back, trying to build up, trying to get turnovers and create counters, while the Americans were, let's just play the whole game on their end. Let's just play in the attacking third. Let's not let them do that. And then late in the game, it was kind of on its head, right? Like it was Belgium that was sending the ball deep. It was Belgium that was working the ball wing to wing and flipping the field over, while the Americans were kind of compacting into the box and playing for their lives. I kind of had that same thought of the attitude for this game for me is, if I'm the Americans, and what you said earlier, this is a team that, not that it is an old team. It's just that their best players are their oldest players now. To me, it's, let's wear those guys out. Let's run this ball down the field. Let's play around the horn, right? Like my key to the game tonight, Martino, was get the ball to the wing, to the guys that can play on the wing, have two up top, and whenever that back line compresses, wherever space opens up just inside of the outside box, send one in to play it, one up top to kind of be the counter there. In this game against Belgium, I'm looking for the same thing. Make them run around and chase us. And when they make a mistake, create space and take advantage. The difference being, I need 90 minutes of that, not 65. And granted, the red card kind of forced us into that. So it's very much a don't play to where we go down a man again. But if we don't, and we can play that way, and you can get to a point where De Bruyne and Lukaku, with these guys who are my age, kind of start sucking wind a little bit, I think we've got an opportunity. Again, I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, we're winning this game, calling the shot. I'm saying we can create the opportunity for us to win this game and force Belgium into doing something spectacular to take it from us.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's exactly how they have to go about it. I think now that they're so sure of themselves, because in recent years, Team USA always felt like it was an identity crisis. We know we're good, but we're not. Why? And I think Pochettino, and even if it's corny, right? Because you hear Sebastian Berhalter say it in the press conference, we're Team USA, we don't take no SHIT from anybody. And you're like, okay, a little cringe, but it's something. We'll take it. Like, it's good. That's an attitude, because I feel like Team USA playing for them, the U.S. men's national team, it is an uphill battle to get supported sometime in this country. And what this team has done is really just gone out and got results. And I never found them to really be an unlikable group. They haven't been likable for people for whatever reason. I can't speak for others. But this puts it beyond doubt. They're winning with grace. They're classy. Pochettino represents them well. These guys don't really cause a lot of problems. There's not bad attitudes out there. And they win. And they play very well. And that matters. Carrying it over and representing, this country 32 years after they hosted that first World Cup, of like, when can they take a pretty transparent step forward where you're saying, like, okay, we're clearly not what we used to be. We're elevating our standards now. And we've met them by sending players to Europe, but necessarily haven't seen the results over here. You're winning Gold Cups. You're beating the teams that you're supposed to beat. Copa America is a disaster. World Cup 2022 didn't go well. There was drama, with Berhalter and Gio Reyna's parents that were, like, it felt like you were at a Little League playground with the way people were acting, where parents are involved. Now it's no nonsense. We're coming at you. We don't care if it's Belgium. And I think it would just be so poetic, because the last knockout stage match that was a huge one for Team USA was against Belgium. And to have the opportunity to beat them in this one at home, to go to the first quarterfinal and whatever, like 1930, 34, can be incredible. So I think you're right. Foot on the gas. Don't take no prisoners. And I think it'll bode very well for them.
No, I agree. The one thing that I think we can talk about attitude, and we can talk about how you reflect the country and how you represent yourself and all that. But at the end of the day, brother, you and I and everybody else who's ever grabbed a microphone and talked about sports in their life knows that Americans love one thing above all else, and that's kicking ass and winning, man. Like, we will support alleged murderers if they go win a Super Bowl. Allegedly, I'm not saying anything but allegedly, but we will allegedly, if they go win a Super Bowl. Like, the fact that this team is, I agree, they are likable. Like, Pochettino was a guy who, when the hire got made, especially the huge chunk of people who wanted Jesse March, and that's a whole different discussion for a different time. But when Poch got hired, I think there were a lot of people, and I wasn't like against it, but I had questions. I'm like, all right, is this really the right fit? Like, it's a different style of football than we're used to, even though we desperately needed a different style. Right. Is this the right one? He's endeared himself. I was kind of laughing when we were doing the post game, because they showed him hugging up on his assistant coaches while John Denver was playing, and he was screaming country road. He knows the words to John Denver's "Take Me Home, Country Roads." Like that, I can't ask for more ingraining in the culture than that. But
Right.
he's represented well. Like I kind of laughed when you talked about the apology earlier, but he's like, "Oh, brother, you didn't have to apologize. You're exactly right, right? Like they lose a game to Turkey that means nothing with 9 backups." And he's like, "Yo, well, like why are we the ones that are expected to apologize when we won the damn group and we won it? This game didn't matter at all."
Right.
Yeah, no, he's absolutely right. I'm all in on that. And then you add on to it a group of players that there really haven't been problems. Like, yeah, Gio had problems, but it was Gio's parents who
Yeah, it's not
created
even his
that
fault.
problem. I'm
Yeah.
not holding it on him. Like, I know Pulisic took a lot of shit a couple of times because he did at one point say, well, it's the World Cup. It's just another game. But like, I want that Kobe mentality of, yeah, it's NBA Finals Game 7, but I'm not going to treat it any different than I do a regular season game in January because I don't want to add unnecessary pressure. Even the stuff that has been, Martino, the most controversial out of these guys, to anybody who's ever put on a helmet or laced up the boots and taken to the pitch, like it's not controversial. It's just athlete mentality, or it was caused by somebody outside of the program. So it's a likable team, which is why, and I agree with you. Like, now I will say this. My thought was you have to win the round of 32. It's an expanded tournament. Like, yes, it's a knockout round win. We haven't had a knockout round win since I was a junior in high school, and you see all the gray. I'm old as shit. It is what it is. But winning in the round of 16 to me, like it's house money, sure. Winning in the round of 16 would be definitive, no questions asked. We've taken a step. Oh, and the coach is likable. Oh, and the team is likable. Oh, now we can, for the first time since I don't know how long, actually take advantage of the momentum the World Cup has created for the long term instead of the short term.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Is like it's in your backyard. You get to a quarterfinals, and again, Belgium's a known, respectable country too. Even Bosnia is. Like they have done nothing but beat respectable countries. If people want to argue that Australia is the worst country that they beat, Australia is pretty damn respectable. And then when you have that win against Paraguay, which, oh, by the way, everybody, turns out they're not as bad as you thought they were because you wanted to crap on the U.S. men's national team because, oh, well, they won their game against a country that's not a powerhouse. Paraguay played very well in their qualifiers. They have respectable players, and they knocked out the Germans. So now the narrative is changing, is it not? And to me, that again, like you say house money, getting the quarterfinals, you hit your ceiling, arguably. And when you hit your ceiling and you play very well and you become more likable, that's where it's a 10 out of 10 smashing success for the future because now everybody's bought in. And who knows what'll happen in the quarterfinals if they get there. That's the beauty of it, is that every moment there's going to be energy at a game for the U.S. men's national team that we've never seen before. It's going to be like Seattle could be insane, to your point. I don't know how many Belgians are going to make it to Seattle. That's the thing, too. That's far. It's a far trip. And I don't think there's that many Belgians out there in general. So, like, to get to Seattle, to up there, I'm just ecstatic about it. Just really like that Tillman goal just sets everything to like, oh yeah, down a man. We scored that now, a set piece late. I don't know. Like, to me, that's like house money confidence, though. Like I've been saying, like that's whatever's going to happen in Seattle, you get that crowd behind you to the point you were making. Belgium, I'm not sure they have faced something like that soon, and I'm excited for it. So yeah, just amazing. Had a great time on the stream too. Appreciate it. Brought the energy. Good job for GDG. Great night for everybody. Clips are up, by the way.
Yeah.
On commentary for this too. So
yeah, shout out to Kate
go,
and Nick busting ass in the background to make sure we got the content. Yeah, we'll cut it there, man. I know we got another game in a few days. Everybody get the hangover. All right. Balogun's going to be fine. We're going to win the appeal. My boy's going to be back. We're going to be just fine. And we get to Belgium and Seattle. Martino, my man, enjoy the hell out of this, brother. Hope we get to do it again next game, pal.
Yes, sir. All right. Take care. Have a great night.
You got it.
Everybody.
To everybody else out there watching, I appreciate you being here again. If you're not already, follow me on Twitter at The Rob Brown Show. Make sure you're following GameDay Garage across all of our platforms on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter, and whatever else we're on. Oh, TikTok, I guess. I'm old. I don't know what that means. hit us up. Follow us. I'm going to drop some more content. I'll have some more post-game analysis on my and the Game Day Garage social tomorrow. Y'all have a spectacular rest of your evening, and go USA.